be applying pressure so that they can go for it free of charge. But we see again Insidious with great positioning. Unfortunately, he got absolutely hammered by a Scat of the Week and a headshot at the same time, knocking about 1,000 health away from him just there at the end of that fight. But that's what we're talking about. You know, when he doesn't have that front line, Insidious really does get destroyed by this damage. So he was a little bit aggressive towards the end of it. Didn't like to see that. But again, it's a fight won by Black Rose. They need more and more of these, and they're picking them up.
Yeah, of the last 4 team fights that I can think of, it feels like Black Rose have come out the better, certainly from a kill perspective, in 3 of them, I think, though I may be forgetting something. Really good vision control on the side of LoL Squad was what led to that fight, as Cicero got slightly caught in his jungle, though it worked out pretty well for him. Black Rose have used this time of having Alperen dead to try and get a bit of that vision back, but there's still a lot of control wards and vision around the Baron if you're LoL Squad.
Yeah, they really are waiting to make one pick. All it's going to take is one. And we might be seeing that actually with the red buff
certainly from the kill.
Stolen away by Cicero quite nicely. Yeah. Happy with
Stealing
that one.
his own red buff.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But unfortunately, with the smite utilized there, that could even be all it takes. You know, they really are hammering home the fact that they need this Baron. And I think that if they do take the Baron, you might be looking at the situation we were in about maybe 5-10 minutes ago, if we're talking about. And here they go with the Baron.
Yeah, Baron started up. Smite will be available for Cicero as he had a second one stored up, so only that 15-second cooldown. There is absolutely no vision on this. I think they know it's going down, though. Cicero's just going to have to get in there as quickly as possible. Here's the slingshot. He's looking for the steal. He doesn't get it. Maokai secures that one. Alperen coming up godlike. Cicero in all sorts of trouble. Does have his passive still available as the damage now coming down to Sosa. Insidious caught out. Stand United on top of him. Weedfish going lower and lower, but he's shut down the ADC of Black Rose. And this is going to be the game, I think, because 5 members remain with Baron for LoL Squad. Black Rose melted with only Ferrum remaining.
They're heading to the middle lane. They don't have the minions right now. Maybe they're just gonna look to tank the tower. Who knows? But they have lane. Never mind. That is looking like the end of the game, as you say. It looks like game 1 of the Wind and Rain Battle Axis Invitational. As we said about 10 minutes ago, is gonna, in fact, be going over to LoL Squad. I don't think that there was too much doubt. They flirted with it a little bit, Black Rose, and I was happy with that. But you know, it literally comes with Insidious dropping on the Twitch, and as we see, Ferrum's gonna try and fight for his base's life. Not really gonna get too much out there. And the game is KDA.
Done. And that is a game. Congratulations, LoL Squad. Commiserations to Black Rose. You put up a valiant effort trying to come back into that game. But in the end, LoL Squad reigned supreme in this one. And that was a bit of a cracker.
I'm absolutely so impressed, actually, by both sides now, because I was really upset. I wanted Black Rose to be able to topple this Titan in LoL Squad. You know, you've got Alperen and you've got Vinex, these enormous factors for LoL Squad being able to pump out so much pressure all the time around the map. And they didn't manage to deal with it in the early game, but into the later game team fights, as we said that they'd need to get to, they were doing so much work, phenomenal. But unfortunately, Insidious flashes forward in the last fight and gets completely cold by the damage sources on LoL Squad. He just doesn't have anything there. The flashing forward on an ADC, not recommended. Maybe go for a double lift play on that one. You know, keep it for later. But yeah, not displeased. I was a little bit upset earlier about this and that with the teams, but really impressed now at the end of the game.
Yeah, they made a good fight of it. A fantastic game for us to enjoy on our first one. We're going to be heading to a break in just a moment before we head to our second game of the group stage. Just before we do, though, Ollie, I'm going to ask you to give out an MVP award for that game.
The MVP award for me. Now, it goes between 2 people, but I don't think that we can actually deny Alperen this one. He's just, the amount of pressure that he exerted all across the map. Even though he had a 1-2 and 8 KDA, you've got to look at it as he managed within 15 minutes to completely negate this counter pick from Ferrum. He was enormous in pressing waves, in starting fights into the middle lane, getting those picks so that he could get Weedfish ahead. Very impressive from the MVP of the last tournament that he was in. No surprise.
Yeah, there are so many players there that I could add on to what you've just said there and give them credit. But honestly, the whole team of LoL Squad did so well. I'm going to give a bit of credit to Black Rose too, because
Mm.
we talked earlier on about the evil geniuses. You talked about the evil geniuses that you supported, and they sort of, I know it sounds weird, but they weren't my evil geniuses. That was at the time when the organization split, and if I remember correctly, Crepo, Snoopay, and Yellow Pete went to America, forming the EG you're talking about, leaving Froggen and Wicked behind in Europe to form
Right.
Elements or Alliance, whatever they became. And it very much felt like they were splintered, and for a while they did pretty poorly, almost getting relegated.
Yeah, yeah.
The same thing is here with Black Rose. They've got this new lineup, 2 new players come in, only a couple of weeks of scrims in, and they put out a performance like that where they really weren't completely overwhelmed by a team that's been together for a lot longer. So fair play to Black Rose, and I look forward to seeing what is in their future, especially for the rest of this tournament.
Absolutely.
We are going to head to a break now, but myself and Ollie will be back for Game 2 very shortly. Stay tuned.
all stories have in common, dear wolf?
Have they forgotten us yet, little lamb?
All still know us, though they try to forget. Soon, we will remind them. And everywhere Lamb went,
Wolf was sure to
Welcome back to the Wind and Rain Battle Axes Invitational. We're on to game 2 of our featured games today. This one is going to feature Bath Spartans taking on Orange and Black. This will follow the game which we just had between LOL Squad and Black Rose, which was an absolute cracker of a fight. Hope that we get more of the same here, Ollie.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to this game, especially coming off of the last game, an explosive one. With both teams really showing up that they had a lot of fight in them. Knowing these teams actually from playing with them, really excited to see what they can come out with in this one.
Good stuff. You have a fair amount of knowledge of the Orange and Black team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing with a lot of these players myself, even duo queuing with the man in the jungle, Infinite 8, for a little bit of time. Yeah, really looking forward to see what they can come out with. I'll have a little bit up my sleeve for the champion selects to do with them. But I'm moreover looking towards the Bath Spartans, the uni team. So we'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, we've entered the pick and ban phase, and it will be quite interesting to see if there's any prioritizing. These players have all been given access to each other's OPGG accounts going into these games, so people are going to know what people like to play. We'll see if there's any particular priority. The first champion taken away is the newest one in the champion pool of League of Legends. Zoe's gone from the Rift.
Yep, expect to see that every single time. Zoe just such a high priority pickup right now. The damage numbers that she can put out are exceptional, and she actually has a decent team fight showing too. Ezreal on the other side, however.
Yeah, Ezreal not going to be allowed on. He was playing in the jungle at the end of last split, but has been coming back to the ADC role with the new runes, but he will not be allowed onto either HD Stee, I think he might be called. I could be wrong. Please correct me on that one if I'm not right. And HDC and Xerath is going to be the next ban. Seen that one played in the mid lane and support recently.
Yeah, Xerath's a huge pickup actually that people have been contesting for. He's managing to get a lot of his damage out with the Comet as well. A really strong champion in the game right now. And on the other side, I am a little bit surprised to see Alistar. Though he's such a strong champion, he's not one that I've really noticed, especially Stan, to have been playing.
Yeah, Borderless Stan, the support for Orange and Black, will not be able to pick up that Alistar, whether or not he would have wanted to before, or maybe it's just something Bath Spartans really don't like to face, maybe their trigger champion. Maokai, who we saw in the last game, Alperin of LOL Squad, you gave him the MVP. We're not going to be able to see that tree on the Rift this game. If you want to tree people, you're going to have to hope for an Ivan.
Yeah. That's really not something that Infinite's going to be looking at in his champion pool either. The Leona pulled out for Stan.
Ooh.
That's a strong pick. It's a very strong pick. To the same degree that Alistar is, and on the opposite side, Shen for ham sandwiches.
Shen, nice early pickup, and it's going to be Tristana going alongside that one. So far, quite a nice bit of teamfight potential later on in the game as Tristana scales up.
Yeah, I feel like they've just shown their hand, but it doesn't matter right now. They're definitely going to be looking for this damage source in the later stages of the game, especially with a Shen on the side of it, being able to pump out the protection that the Tristana might require. So, actually, surprising enough, we're going to be seeing a Jace. So they're going to be going hugely aggressive on the side of Team Orange and Black.
Yeah, Orange and Black securing that Jace. Bit of a flex pick, has been known to be in the mid and top lane. If this Syndra is locked in, however, I think we will know for certain that it's going to the top lane.
Yep, 100% it's going to be up there. Obama ate my pizza. Not really someone who I've got a great deal of experience with, or do I? In fact, I might know exactly who this Yes, I do. Bloom, right then. It goes by a different name as to how I refer to this man. But yeah, he's a fantastic, strong top laner, and Jace is very much so woven into his champion pool, as Lee Sin is banned away. It
is, yeah. We've reached the end of the first pick stage as Buttermilk Bjorg will pick up a Nivea for himself, able to counterpick into the Syndra very nicely. They remove Lee Sin, taking that away from Infinite 8, having had a look at his champion pool. It's going to be a Sejuani ban, that one taken away from BSU Frost. They don't want any Frost coming out of the jungle. And the final ban is Xin Zhao, as you yourself said. I think, was it actually Lee Sin and Xin Zhao that you said?
Zhao. Yeah, they've done their homework on this one. They know what Infinite
They've pinched the pool.
Yep, and he might struggle a little bit more now. I would have liked to see Infinite actually be able to pull out the Lee Sin and Xin Zhao as they skipped the first ban phase, but the priority just wasn't there for the team. They don't really mind, it doesn't seem like.
Yeah, Braum is the last champion. They really were desperate to remove those Frost champions in the second phase. What will Frost be picking up in the jungle? Will that be the pick we see, or are they going to secure support early on?
I would probably like to see the support be picked up here because they're going to look, as we can see the Lulu, what they've looked at is absolutely pinching down on on a key player in Infinite. And, you know, Zach Infinite is a very strong jungler on the champions he plays. He doesn't have a super deep pool that he's mega knowledgeable on. So with them saving the jungle pick for the last pick, they're going to look to even counter him with that. As well as banning him away.
That's really interesting. Last game, I spoke about how rarely I see a top lane counter pick being the last pick. It certainly seems like we're going to see a jungle counter pick right at the end of game 2 of this tournament. The Jhin has been picked up by HDST. Haven't seen that one for a little while. How does that one play out into their team comp?
Well, what you look at with the Jhin now, he excels with Meteor, just as we saw Misfortune with it last game. Oh, there we go. Actually, I'd like to just interject here from away from the Jhin. Jarvan being picked up for Infinite. It's a champion I didn't recall out of the top. The top 2 is his Lee Sin and Xin Zhao. He loves to play them, but his Jarvan is phenomenal. He played it throughout Season 7. And Rengar being picked up for Frost. Wow. Okay. Here we go. We've got a game
on our hands, Ollie.
Oh my word. I'd love to see a little bit of Rengar.
I hate to see a little bit of Rengar. I don't mind casting it, but it is the champion I have banned pretty much every game since the new runes come out. I don't like being deleted in 0.6 seconds.
Yeah, he really does a little nasty bit of damage. But you see,
go back to the Jarvan.
Yeah, the Jarvan being an enormous pickup for Infinite. He played it throughout Season 7 in a tanky format, in a damaging format. He's got absolute bags of knowledge about this champion. So seeing him pick it up, seeing it slip through the ban there, with him being targeted in the 4th and 5th ban coming out from Bath, he's done very well actually, I think, to get this one as it being the last pick for his team. So the flip side of that though, Rengar being picked into the Jarvan. Now, first of all, I don't like Rengar into Jarvan, and second of all, it strays away from what you want, really, with the Tristana being in the team, and you've got an Anivia there that kind of supports that and is able to pull out damage. If we think back to last game with the pick and ban from Black Rose, they had Nazir to do the sort of same thing. But what Rengar just steps away from that ever so slightly. You know, he doesn't have the same ability as maybe an Elise or Lee Sin would have. He doesn't have that kind of lockup totally available to him. He can get it after he's gone in, but it's not really something I was expecting to see, and it's not something I'm too happy to see.
No, it is very much an extra damage dealer into the team rather than that layered CC or protection maybe you would have expected in the composition they'd built. Those who were tuned in for the last game will have watched a game, Ollie, where we had 5 of the 10 champions on the Rift who were very much tanks. If I can remember them, we had Maokai, we had Shen, we had Sejuani, we had Zac, and we had Braum all on the Rift. In this game, we only really have the Shen, who is your traditional tank. Yes, Jarvan can build quite tanky, and Leona, I apologize, Leona as well as the support is, but everybody else seems very much based on bursting your opponent's shreds or protecting, as we say, the Tristana.
You know, I think we're going to have a bloodbath.
That's what I hoped you'd say.
Bath looking for a bloodbath. What do you know? They're going to be really coming out of this one, looking to take the kills, and it looks like Team Orange and Black are going to be looking for the exact same thing. So it's either going to be a kill fest or it's going to be a fiesta, and I mean those two sort of overlap anyway. So really a little bit less clarity on the macro game from this one. What we saw with LoL Squad, I wouldn't expect to see that in a game like this. I'd actually just expect to see gank after gank after gank, fight after fight in lane between these champions. Now, what I am a little bit surprised about is the fact that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but how it looks is that Team Orange and Black have actually got priority in all of their lanes. Maybe save for the Tristana, being able to break it down with a passive, you know, the explosive shot that's going to be able to knock out the minions as she presses forward. But aside from that, you know, you're looking at a Syndra that's going to be able to outpress the Anivia up to about level 6, and
Sure.
even then, if Anivia does press forward, it's going to be easy pickings for the Jarvan. And the Jace, of course, you know, Jace is an enormous lane bully. So having him up against the Shen, who kind of looks to do the same thing from a tanky front, Shen's not going to have as much fun as he could have done against Alperen's Maokai last game, even though that fun was maybe limited to 15 minutes. So this is probably going to be a little bit less than even that.
Ollie, as we leave our 3-minute spectator delay and start to jump into a champ select screen, can you break it down a little bit more for me? Short of the sort of the classic, this is going to be a bloodbath, and whoever kills who more will end up coming out the victors. Is there something that the two teams want to do, short of just kill each other more times than the other team kills us?
I mean, you can simply pull it back to the ADCs for this one. You've got the Tristana, who's going to be looking to reset in fight, so she's going to be looking to have the protection available from Sona, from Anivia with potentially walls, from Shen with the Stan United. So there is that. You know, they do have this degree of team fighting to them, and you can flip that completely again to the side of Team Orange and Black. You know, with the Jhin being able to pump out the 4 shots from his ultimate they're gonna hurt against this lineup, the not so tanky lineup coming out of the Bath Spartans. There we
Yes.
go. With the Leona in tow, you know, with the ultimate being able to engage upon any unwary target, and Jhin's follow-up being able to chain a lot of CC together. You follow that up with Jarvan being able to flag and drag, and you've got yourself a pick. The same is the case for Bath Spartans. Sona hits an ultimate. You're looking at Anivia being able to stun up with her Q and follow that up with you know, all the damage that she can pump out. Shen's obviously got his taunts, and Rengar even. You know, if you look at if we think back to Season 7, there was a traditional build for Rek'Sai and potentially even Jarvan if you looked at build him in a damage orient, where you would see a Black Cleaver, a Warrior, and a Guardian Angel. Now, in a competitive format, that is exceptional on Rengar. He's able to get off a lot more than in the solo queue environment where you just see lethality thrown around. However, Rengar with lethality is like kind of my comfort. It is like my comfort blanket. I love it. I absolutely adore playing this in solo queue. So seeing it, being able to cast it, I'm really excited for.
Yeah, this is going to be good. During that champ select screen, we were able to have our first look at the keystones, and it's going to be Electrocute for both of the junglers. It's going to be an Arcane Comet for both of the mid laners. The one I'd like to ask you about is the selection of Arcane Comet for Jhin in comparison to what was, I believe, was it the Fleet Footwork that I saw for Tristana? No, yes, I think it was.
The Fleet Footwork on Tristana. Now, I believe that in the last patch, Fleet Footwork was buffed. It was essentially an unplayable rune. Up to that, it didn't provide enough healing, and it didn't provide, you know, what you were looking for really. From you know, you take away Warlord's Bloodlust from the game and replace it with a sub-tiered rune. No one could really run it. You know, the likes of Corki that used to run it in the middle lane, Warlords, and he'd really enjoy being able to move around with that. Corki suddenly dropped a little bit down away from that style of play and over to what is now the sorcery style as a result. So seeing it on Tristana, it is the first time I'm actually going to have experience with that rune. I've not seen it played, but I have obviously a great deal of knowledge about the Warlord's Bloodlust, so it's essentially the same mechanic for anyone who doesn't know.
Interesting. As we see the junglers starting up at their red buffs with help, and on the side of, Orange and Black, they have the duo lane helping out, and on the side of Bath Spartan, Shen came down from top lane to help out Rengar. As we see that, we also can have a little look at the summoner spells that are taken in the mid lane. There's a cleanse been picked up by Krax, who is obviously slightly scared of the Anivia damage and stun, whereas teleport on Buttermilk Borg's Anivia.
Yeah, the teleport's something that's quite a little bit cheesy with Anivia. What you can do with that, managing to be able to teleport the egg away, is something that I adore seeing in highlight videos. But only obviously just beforehand.
Yeah.
So just before the passive proc. Now, Krex is someone who does know his matchups very, very well. He actually hit Master Tier in 3v3s.
Wow.
Last season, towards right at the end of last season, he was just outside of Challenger as well for that. So he's a phenomenally good player on this sort of champion, because this is what he took into the 3v3s. So he knows his matchup. He knows that he needs cleanse in this one to avoid the Anivia damage should he get hit by it.
Interesting. Everyone trading fairly equally around the board, with the exception of the Shen, who, having leashed for Rengar, has found himself 11 CS behind, 3 lowly CS for him so far.
Yeah, you would have really wanted to see Rengar start the bottom side. It's a little less traditional for him to be doing that, but you need Shen in the lane to start off. Otherwise, he's just going to get hammered into his turret by the Jace. Obama ate my pizza, you know, Bloom, as he's known to his friends. Is just going to be able to deny so much away from him. You can see the minion wave already hitting the tower, and it's a double minion wave at that, as we flip to the middle lane and Cracks.
Yeah, so much damage coming through as we trade back up into the top lane. See yet more minions dying to the turret. Ham Sandwich is doing his very best to secure some. BSU Frost is here in the bot lane for the second time. The jump forward from Tristana, getting a decent bit of damage onto Borderless Stan. He's in all sorts of trouble, having to flash away already. Frost flashes into the bush to be able to get on top of Stan, and Borderless Stan is dead. Stan, he goes down to the Rengar for first blood.
Borderless Stan might be borderline Stan if we keep seeing a little bit more of this come out from Frost. That was phenomenal. Managing to flash into the brush, but I'm going to have to cut myself off there as Cracks goes in at the middle lane.
Yeah, look at the damage coming through. The flag and drag from Infinite is enough to force the flash out of Buttermilk Bjorg, and he went super low. Did not have to burn his passive though.
Yeah, he keeps his passive available, which is it's a little bit of something. Not having
it's a small win.
Yeah, exactly. But not having that available to him in future really is going to hammer home Infinite on this damaging, this aggressive, this ganking jungler. We're going to see a lot more from him, I feel, in the middle lane as he rotates a little bit to the bottom side.
Yeah, we're seeing Frost back up in the top side. It feels like something's going to break out somewhere. I just don't know what. Ham Sandwich is so low. Rengar is arriving though, and Jace is down to half health. Does have the flash of Elden to him. The bolus lands onto BSU Frost. Obama ate my pizza, and he also obliterated Shen with that shock blast. Now Infinite 8 is here in the bot lane. Obama ate my pizza will go down for his troubles. He tried to burn the flash. Well, he did burn the flash, but wasn't able to get away from Rengar. It was a 1-for-1 in top lane, but that shock blast, it caught me by surprise.
Really huge damage there, and this is what we can expect to see Jace in. He's already got a 15 farm advantage with 5 minutes of the game. He's hammering home the fact, as I keep on having to say, that, you know, this matchup, it's just wonderful for Jace. First picking Shen, picking Shen ahead of your top lane matchup is often going to end detrimentally, and it does so in this case. Massively so, but Rengar managing to get a second tooth on his necklace, really going to be pumping out some more damage as a result of that. He's already with a serrated Dirk in pocket as he heads over to the bottom side of his jungle.
Yeah, he does. And I'm going to be somewhat unprofessional right now and put a bit of a shout out to Twitch chat and to Qui and to other people who might be listening in on this one. If anybody can remember the name of Baf Spartan's ADC, that'd be great, because due to characters in its name, it's just showing me 4-3-5-3, 4-6, 3-4, 5-3-2, and frankly, I can't call that every time that Tristana gets a kill or dies.
See, I've been going with 4-3-5 in my notes. The first three digits there, and as we see a level 6.
How is he level 6? Borderless Stan in all sorts of trouble. There's the jump for Frost. HD Steve's trying to get some damage, but yet another jump, yet another kill. This one goes over to Sona. Jump forward after the reset from Tristana. Another bonus lands. It's gonna be the Deadly Flourish from HD to get him to safe. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Buttermilk Bjorg is destroying Cracks, who has to burn the cleanse.
It's crazy. I don't know what to tell you about this one. There's so much happening at the same time, and we're gonna have to go back to the middle lane as Krex flashes forward.
Yeah, he has to flash forward to get out of the damage of Buttermilk Bjork, who uses Zhonya's to temporarily keep himself alive, but with no flash available, that's gonna be a dead bird. Articuno gets sent back, or does she? Yes, she does. The Stand United not quite enough to save Buttermilk Bjork Zanivia.
Got my heart in my mouth at this one. It's as explosive as I imagined, but you can't predict what's going to happen next. There's so many things happening around the map. I'm going to have to take you back to the bot lane to start off with. Rengar at level 6 already? How is this happening? It reminds me almost as at the World Championships, as we saw the Vietnamese team being able to pull out
XP runes.
Exactly, a 5-minute level. But with the Nocturne, you know, this is crazy what we're seeing right now. A Rengar is so... Is that that'll be an assist for him, but I believe it's another tooth on the necklace. So he's going to be sitting on 3, and as soon as you get into your 4th and 5th, you really start seeing how much worth that passive can have.
Yeah, I think he only has 2 at the moment because 2 of the kills were onto Leona.
Oh, were they? Oh, indeed.
But
Unfortunately,
even so,
that is the case. Yeah.
But it's still great for him to have 2 at this point. You say that, you know, you're excited by the amount of damage. Frankly, I'm disappointed. We need a kill a minute from this game. There's so much potential for damage. And here we go again as Stan goes forward onto Holland, gets the stun onto a man who I have just been informed is called Relson. Tristana jumps away. Relson gets out by the skin of his teeth.
Relson, indeed. I'll cross off 435 on my notepad. As he is able to jump out. We're going to see that a lot from this bottom lane. Unfortunately, well, as Rengar's down here again, here goes Frost.
Here we go, the hunt is on, and Jin is dead. Borderless Stan running for his life. 2 stacks on the explosive charge from 3 stacks, 4 stacks, all the jump resets. 4, 3, 5, 3, 4, 6, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2. Relson picks up his first kill.
Wonderful, wonderful work, and there is finally the 3rd tooth on the necklace for Frost. I say finally, we're 8 minutes. Doing enormous work for his team. 100% kill participation already at 9 minutes into the game with 5 kills made for Bath Spartans. Oh, it's lovely. As we flip into the top lane.
He's in all sorts of trouble. He used the taunt early. He missed it. The kill is picked up. That one goes over to Obama Ate My Pizza's Jace. But the first turret is secured by Bath Spartans. They have got themselves a small gold lead. Cracks in bit of trouble, but landing the Scatter the Weak there means that Buttermilk Bjork's ultimate was stopped. That Glacial Storm, the ticks of damage cancelled by the CC coming out of Syndra.
Yeah, it's a lot right now, actually. I didn't expect to see this much pressure coming out of the Anivia into the Syndra matchup. The lane itself is with Syndra, but as he's pressing forward so much, we can only expect to see him try and be countered out by this Leona who gets caught.
Oh, look at that damage. The stun would have landed, except Borderless Stan flashed away. He's not going to die for a 4th time just yet.
It's an excellent flash. Now that we've got a little bit of a breather maybe coming out, I'd like to actually mention to you why he's known as Borderless Stan. That's a nickname that I gave to him. He did name him thanks to myself. Stan is unfortunately a tilter. And he lost his platinum border last season.
Oh, I'm going to have to interrupt you just for the damage that's coming through from all angles. Borderless Stan in all sorts of trouble. He might lose his life as border in a moment.
Yeah, he loses his platinum border last season due to the fact that he got reported so many times. He in fact got banned. He's a tilter, and him going 0 and 3 right now. He's a very big talker in game. You know, he's not. I wouldn't say he's the main shot caller in this team, but he's certainly up there. And having him down at a 0 and 3 might be maybe enough to break the camel's back. We'll see.
Ollie, are you a happier caster this game? As a jungler, both of us are. We've just seen the first dragon taken away at the 11-minute mark instead of the 31-minute mark we had in the last game.
It's fantastic. This is what you need. Dragons are everything to junglers. You really need to be taking those as much as you can, even if they're seemingly irrelevant, because what these dragons do when you get to the elder phase of the game is they decrease, sorry, I should say, the amount of time it takes, because they increase the damage that you deal to it. So it really does impact that quite heavily. I was quite shocked last game to not see anything come out, but yeah, as you say, really excited. And here we go to the top lane, never mind.
Yeah, the recall is stopped. BSU Frost is so low. Try and dash away to safety. Stand United on top of it now. Will he try for the re-engage? Obama ate my pizza. Looks like he's going to get away. Frost is not shut down, however. That would have been a big shutdown. Obama ate my pizza had to burn flash for that as well.
Yeah. He's an incredibly aggressive player, is Bloom. And here we go to the middle lane, in fact.
Yeah, speaking of aggression, Infinite 8 is there. Massive flag and drag on the bottom of the box. He flashes away, but that Cataclysm is there. However, it is Infinite who is stuck because of the CC that's coming through. The damage is there, though. Syndra picks up the kill onto Anivia. It's returned as Tristana goes down to Relson. Relson is Tristana, and Leona goes down to Relson's Tristana.
It's going to be the 4th death of the game for Stan. This is what I mean about the tilter. He's a little out of position there. We're going to flip it to the jungle.
Obama at my pizza might be out of position as well. Tries to get to the blast cone, but is not going to be able to get to safety. Frost picks that one up. Will get a kill and a red buff for his troubles.
It's the risk that you take when you invade a Rengar that's 4-0-2. He's got three teeth on his necklace. He's already got the Duskblade. He's also got the Mobies. This is a Rengar that's going to be all up in your face no matter where you are. As we said at the start of this one, no one's really tanky enough to deal with this kind of damage. And as he's already stacked it, Frost, he's going to be... I wouldn't be surprised, in fact, if we saw a 20-minute-ish game come out, actually, if he's able to keep up this amount of pressure, because he's everywhere.
That's a bold comment. We see Infinite 8 has gone for the Warrior enchant, so we're not even going to get the tanky Jarvan in this game.
Nope. This is what I expected. In fact, you know, he's a Xin Zhao, he's a Lee Sin player, and he likes to have a little bit of damage in his pocket. He's been able to pump some of that out onto Anivia, as we've seen for this game so far. But I would personally have advised for the tanky build. It does provide a little bit more for his team. But we're going to flip it to the mid lane with Bjorg taking down the tower.
Yeah, Infinite 8 trying to defend this one, but it's going to be very, very tough against the 3 members of Bath Spartans. They are really putting a lot of pressure on. The turret is safe for now, but I'll tell you who's not. Jhin is deleted from the map in about 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, this is it. This is what Frost can do. Obviously, he's only got 3 teeth on his necklace, but when you've got the Duskblade, when you've got the mobility that the boots provide alongside On the Hunt, he's everywhere. This is just wonderful to see coming out of the Rengar.
Is exceptionally impressive. We're only looking at just over a 1,000 gold lead, however, for the side of Bath Spartans. A big part of that is down to the work that Jace is doing in the top lane versus Shen.
Yeah, he's sort of swinging it a little bit. Like this is what we didn't see from last game with Black Rose. They didn't really have anything to stand on. They didn't have a leg. Jace could potentially be that for this team. We've seen how much damage he's actually been able to do to the Rengar when he caught him out of position. But likewise, we have seen also Rengar be able to take down Obama ate my pizza.
Infinite 8 there, taking away the blue buff, not passing it over to Syndra, who was walking over. Seemed completely intentional. Interesting to see how that works into things, because Syndra, despite her CS disadvantage, also has a narrow gold lead over her lane opponent, Anivia.
Yeah, well, she does have a Morellonomicon, so she shouldn't be struggling too much with mana, but you would really like to see it on the mid lane. Jarvan does well with the blue buff, but I don't think that's... I mean, maybe this is a little bit of the tilt that I was talking about from this team coming out. You know, they're not in too good. It does only say that there's this slight gold advantage in favor of Bath, and we are actually going to see that even leveled out if this tower goes down at the bottom lane.
Yeah, there's a very good chance it will. This looks like it is not going to be any competition for it at all. They're level on turrets at the moment, which looks like it will change in a moment as we see Buttermilk Bjork caught out. The Scaff of the Week does not land, however, and the stun is good. Now the Stand United, will they look for more damage? Infinite 8 having to flash away. Hammer Sandwich is stepping forward, and BSU Frost is on the hunt. He wants another stat, but he's not quite going to get it because Krax does not go down. Ham Sandwiches does, courtesy of the turret.
Yeah, that's a really big turnaround, actually. I was coming out of Orange and Black to start this one off. But they were really quite out of position. A fantastic Anivia wall forcing the flash from Infinite, followed by a flag and drag to increase that distance. And Frost actually wasn't able to kill Syndra in a burst. That will change very soon. He's partway to his full jungle item in Warrior, and he's obviously partway as well to a Yumi's Ghostblade. So the amount of damage he's going to be pumping out is going to really ramp in the next about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that serrated Dirk there. He's just got so much lethality already. Second Dragon of the game will be spawning in a moment as BSU Frost looks to get on top of Steve, but an Infinite 8 is there. The flash is already burned. BSU Frost restores a lot of his health and he's going to be able to burn down Infinite 8. There is the fourth stack that we were talking about. We are so close to a fully stacked Bone Tooth Nexus. The jungler is gone for the side of Orange and Black, and even though the last fight went pretty well in their advantage, the Baron, sorry, not Baron, the Dragon almost certainly won't. Curtain Call comes through, but it's too late to secure that that Infernal Dragon away from Bath Spartan.
Yeah, a couple of dragons in this game, as we've seen, the higher priority ones, the Mountain and the Infernal, coming over to Bath Spartans because they do just have the jungle pressure available to them.
No Herald
as we
yet.
see a fight in the middle lane.
Yeah, the stun lands onto Holloland, who's deleted, but so is Syndra. There's the final tooth. It is on to Rengar, who picks up the kill, but Rengar goes down as a result. Leona picking up that kill. 2 for 1 in favor of Orange and Black. Slightly greedy plays from the Bath Spartans.
Now, you've got your wish. Right, 1 kill a minute, it's just happened. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a real ride on this game. You know, either side. The gold advantage actually is sitting in the pocket of Orange and Black. You've got a
100 gold.
You got a 6-1 and 3 Rengar that's actually on the team that's behind, even though it's so slight. He is still behind. It's due to the tower advantage to Orange and Black mind, but I'm still expecting, in fact, well, I have to, that this Rengar's going to be pumping up more and more and more stats. But the team fights, as we've seen, have actually just been completely manic and completely in favor of Orange and Black.
Yeah, the times when the teams have set up together, that does seem to be the way it's played out, despite the way that Bath Spartans have tried to group. I thought it would work out well for them. They look like they might try to take the Herald. Taunt does land onto a Balmorant Pizza, who's flashing away, knowing that BSU Frost is nearby. He's going to follow up on this one. The damage is absolutely massive from this lethality Rengar, and he picks up yet another kill. Now they're going to be looking to push towards the final outer turret that Orange and Black have standing.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the turrets level out, and about 700 gold in the pockets, favouring this Bath Spartan side, and now they're going to knock down the third, as we say.
So easy with Tristana.
Yeah, absolutely. But I am a little bit still impressed by the aggression coming out of the Jace. He didn't just roll over and die there. He stood his ground, and he really put some damage to Rengar, leaving him with about 300 health, as Bath Spartans look to take away the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that the side of Orange and Black can contest this one, though. Barmarate My Pizza is back alive and does have the teleport available. Will we see a collapse? Or no, Herald is just going to go over. Buttermilk Bjork takes 1 shot from the curtain call, takes 2, takes 3. A 4th shot might do it. He's going to go down, is he? No, not quite. Borderless down. 1 more hit on Bjork. There we go. He's into his passive, but unfortunately, Infinite is dead. 2 kills for the Jace. Rengar's gone. Sona's gone. And Nivea's gone for the triple kill. And that just swung massively in favor of Orange and Black. Yet again, the team fight going their way as you predicted, Ollie.
The gold advantage is back level again. We've got
22 kills.
200 gold just between this one, and we've got more than 1 kill a minute now. It's manic. The turret's going to go down in the middle lane, it looks like, in favor of Orange and Black. That's going to be their final outer tower that they have to take away. And this game is completely crazy. I'm so excited for this one. This is really what I wanted to see coming out of the Rengar, coming out of the Jace, coming out of the damaging Jarvan build. Even though he's looking to build a little bit tankier here, maybe going to be building into a dead man's plate, but really impressed by both of these teams. So much aggression, so much bloodlust on either side.
Teleport comes through from the Nivea. This looks like they could be trying to rush the Baron, or are they just going to clear out the vision? So, a bit of an unusual burn of the teleport. The neutrals who are watching this game are having the time of their lives, I'm sure, getting so many kills, so much action. It's a PvP's caster's nightmare, though, I'll tell you right now, Ollie.
Absolutely, yeah. Anivia's not been having the most fun. She's sitting at 0-3, really not enjoying it, and more of a caster ADC, as you say, in Jin's too. Whereas you've got the likes of the people that can open up really into these fights. Rengar 8-2, Jace 5-3, picking up a triple kill in the last fight. I've been really actually impressed by Stan's performance in these team fights. He's been landing so many Zenith Blades, being able to get the sunlight down off of his ultimate and rain hell with his ults in these fights. Really impressed on both sides as we head into the 22nd minute of the game.
Yeah, some really nice plays from Borderless. You said he had that opportunity to tilt after getting those 4 early deaths, but he hasn't died for the last, I think, 15 minutes or so and has made some fantastic plays, as you rightly pointed out. The team with Herald is the side of Bath Spartans, but it's not them who are pushing this mid lane turret, as Orange and Black look to try and re-secure the turret lead, trying to crack that first inner turret. But it looks like the wave clear of the side of Bath Spartans is enough, Ollie.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push this wave back towards Orange and Black, maybe stunt this push in the middle lane, and look to obtain a little bit of vision around this upcoming dragon. The dragon itself is going to be an Ocean Drake, but this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about more aggressive junglers. They will look to take away that so that they can get another one and another one each time. So when it gets to the Elder, they'll be able to wipe it off the map and really hammer home those additional buffs that are granted.
30 seconds until Herald expires, so it'll be interesting to see where that one gets placed down with Rengar near this bottom lane. Absolutely deleting Obama for yet another time. Obama needs some bodyguards right now, and now the side of Orange and Black are looking for the fight. The Cataclysm, the Solar Flare on top of Buttermilk Bjorg, and Nivea gets to stand united on and is still alive. Sona, however, is not. Now when Nivea's gone 2 kills for Syndra, they're going to try and get a third as Ham Sandwich will go down to HDST. First kill of the game for Jhin, who's got a decent CS lead over Tristana. 3 kills for no response. Absolutely fantastic play. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though, the Herald has been planted. It is going to be an inner turret going over to the side of Bath Spartans, but it's going to be countered here in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to be trading one tower for one. Rengar's done a decent job down there. Frost managing to absolutely wipe Obama off the map. Yeah, not really got the level of protection that he did once he was a president. Now a lone League of Legends player is going to be taking down this Rift Herald, and he's going to be farming out the bottom lane, trying to get that pushed a little bit back in so that they can get into another team fight that we've been seeing them absolutely annihilate in game
looks like
time after time.
It looks like the Ocean Drake is going to get picked up by Orange and Black. I wondered for a moment if we were going to see a rushed Baron from Bath Spartans. They're actually stepping away from this dragon despite how low it is.
Yep, they seem to feel like the side of Bath Spartans. Oh, and
Fnatic Death Bush spotted out by the Shot Blast.
Quickly rumbled there by Obama AMIP. It's a very nice work on the Jace. The Shot Blast finding 2 as they take away the dragon, and look, they were rotated for the Baron. This is the thing that I'm seeing a little bit more from Bath than I am seeing from Team Orange and Black. The vision control. They're managing to sort of nail it around the Baron area, and that I mean just now I would have liked to see, maybe rather than a death brush, maybe an attempt at actually taking away the Baron. Could have really sparked an intense fight. But that being said, these intense fights have been going the favor of Orange and Black. You know, the Leona's been hammering home these ultimates left and right. The Jhin's been actually getting off a decent amount in these fights. Forgive his 1, 2, and 3 KDA. He's really been doing some work in the last few minutes, though.
Yeah, Ollie, you're absolutely right. What they might well have been able to burn that Baron down with the Mountain Drake, with the Infernal Drake, but what good is a Baron if it ends up on 0 members? And the way that Orange and Black are fighting at the moment, there's a very real chance that could have happened. BSU Frost is taking away as much vision as he can, looking for his next pick. Going to step back, however, towards his team.
Yeah, he's going to head on over to... Well, actually, he's going to head back into the bottom jungle, just scurry away from this one. He has got all 5 teeth on his necklace, so he's just going to keep ramping and ramping and ramping from here. As we can see, he opted into the Inspiration Tree with the pickup of this stopwatch. Now...
I assume he just bought that going towards Guardian Angel.
You think so? Well, what I was going to mention was actually a... Oh, never mind. Good job from Krax.
Ollie, don't even bother passing over to me on that one because he's gone. You might have to pass over now because Krax taking a decent bit of damage. They're going to try and step forward. Jace, meanwhile, is pushing high in the bot lane. BSU Frost goes for Steve, does not quite kill him, and now he's stunned up for days. There's no way he's going to be able to get out of there. He uses the Zhonya to make himself go golden, but gets killed immediately afterwards. Tristana has picked up 2 kills on the back of this fight. This is going in favor. Oh my god, who is it? Favor of. There are 2 members alive on each side. The teleport from Jace in the end only led him to his doom. The 2 carries, the mid lane and the ADC for both, are the only ones who are alive. How did they remain protected in that fight? And the answer is because Sona's alive too. Oh, she got burst down earlier.
Yeah. She was wounded, absolutely, well, mortally.
Yes.
Before the fight could even begin. You know, forced back to base with that one. But really nice work from Relson, actually able to get a triple kill in that fight. Looked for the Quadra, a nice scatter the meek from Krax on his Syndra. Really nice to see him stepping up on that one. Really stunted what was looking like a flip side on the team fight, and we might actually be looking to see a lot more of those. The Tristana has got a heap of gold after that fight in her pocket, picking up a third item to Jin's 2.5, if you will. So heading on into the net, I mean, what I was going to touch on Rengar. The Inspiration Rengar has been something, I mean, we've not seen it in this game. He went with Electrocute. What has been the case, though, is taking the stopwatch, and actually even some people going with an Inspiration in their primary tree and going with...
He may well have done, I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, they go with the... I don't believe he's got Hex Flash, so he won't have done. But going with Hex Flash, actually, into these matchups, and being able to gank with their leap over the over the range of the leap, what it permits. Yeah. So the sort of idea of that is to sit in a brush, charge the flash, and as soon as you're at your maximum range, you can leap. And as it works out, you can actually leap from the brush into the middle lane, into the center of the middle lane, which means that it's absolutely incredible on what Rengar looks to do to try and get these teeth in the early game. We don't see it this game, however. It was just picked up, as I mentioned earlier, for a Guardian Angel, which is kind of what you want to be seeing, but he did go with a lethality build, not the cleaver. So straight away from that one.
That Guardian Angel not picked up yet, and he has only a broken stopwatch for his troubles at the moment. The side of Orange and Black have done a fantastic job of reversing what Bath Spartans had done with the vision control around Baron, and right now they have got all of the vision on the top side of the jungle. The Baron is there for the taking if they're able to get the right opportunity.
Yep. Now the vision actually flipped to what I said about 5 minutes ago. The vision is very much so with Orange and Black, and they are looking to stand over towards the Baron. They're trying to make Bath Spartans question what's going on, and they are going to go with the Fnatic Death Rush. Here we go with the fight in the middle lane, potentially.
Solar Flare did not quite land onto anybody. I believe the Scatter the Wind actually managed to push one target to safety. Meanwhile, look at that wave in the bot lane, Ollie.
Yeah, this is something that the team actually has needed to work for a while, I've noticed. Since even before this game, having played with these guys, the macro isn't quite towards anything. Well, actually, I'll skip away from that. We're starting a Baron with Bath.
Jace does not have teleport available. He went to clear that that ward out, and the Baron is already down to half health. Borderless is in the area. The Curtain Call is coming through. They're getting the damage down. Infinite is going to be able to dash in. It's going to be a 50-50 Baron if it keeps getting lower and lower. The fight goes on. No deaths yet. Stand United goes on to Frost, but he dies. That's the Rengar gone. Now the smite is only on Infinite. Borderless is getting lower and lower. The taunt is good. Lands onto him. Double kill for Syndra. Sona goes down as well. Meanwhile, oh, it's a triple kill. Are they going to be able to get yet more, or are they just going to turn onto the Baron? I think it might have reset, and the low health bars of Orange and Black mean that no one will be able to secure the big purple worm this time. However, 5 members alive in comparison to the 2 on Bath Spartans. There's an Infernal Dragon up, and they might just take that.
They're going to head over the Dragon on this one. It's an incredible fight, actually, from Orange and Black to secure the Baron area, primarily by killing the Rengar off to start with. And actually, neither team focused the Baron after he went to 2.8k, which is exactly what you want in that situation. However, Bath kind of, they kind of gave up a little bit, I think, towards the end of that fight, and everybody just sort of ran for their lives, which allowed Krax on his Syndra to just clean house. I'm quite surprised, actually, we didn't see an ace there. And they did sort of skulk away with about 100, 200 health left on their health bars, the 2 members of Bath Spartans that didn't fall in that last team fight. But, you know, the Syndra... 11, 1, and 5.
Did get a decent bit of damage there, is all I was going to say, and I think that was a saving grace. And as the team turned towards the Baron rather than chasing down the final members, I think it's a big part of the reason why they maybe didn't lose any structures as well at the end of that fight.
Yeah, potentially you're correct there. Yeah, I would agree with that. Relson, he's actually... again, you know, I was just about to mention that he's seeming to be in position a lot of the time, and he's actually there to take away some vision control around the Baron, he's really doing a lot of work for his team. As you can see, 6-1 and 2. He's managed to close that farm gap between himself and the Jhin, and he's really posing a threat right now, especially actually being able to negate the CC with a Quicksilver Sash. That's going to really
I like that
benefit him
pickup a
in these
lot.
fights. Yeah, massively. It means that obviously if Syndra is able to get the Scan of the Week onto Relson, he can get away. If the Leona is able to get her Zenith Blade down, potentially her ultimate, you know, he's gonna be able to get out of these areas that would otherwise mean that he sort of ceases to exist.
Speaking of ceasing to exist, Buttermilk Bjorg's in all sorts of trouble. The Cataclysm's going to lock him up. He is stuck there without a flash. He will probably have the egg, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough to save. Frost arrived. The Zhonya is perfect from HDC. The damage is there. The resurrecting. Oh my word. Anivia does go down despite the Stand United. BSU Frost goes down as well to Syndra. Jhin and Syndra both picking up 1 kill. The jungler is dead. Obama ate my pizza did go down in that fight, so it's a 2-for-1. They look like they're going to back off instead of starting Baron though.
Yeah, they're not too confident with this Baron. I don't think I say that. Who knows? They're thinking about it. They're going for it. Here we go. It's Baron. Started by the side of Team Orange and Black.
Yeah, there are still some summoners available on the side of Baf Spartans to contest this one if they get close enough, and some low health bars. Infinite going lower and lower. This Baron is down to half health. Scatter the Weak is good onto the Shen. It's good, but Shen's appearance is going to be enough to force away Orange and Black. And yet again, despite winning a team fight, they're not really able to pick up much on the back of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've been pressed away. I was quite surprised to see that the vision came out so late from Bath, but it was it's actually in the nick of time, you know, before it was low enough that this team, Orange and Black on blue side, would be able to just burst it down without any answer. The presence that the Tristana and the Shen have in a situation like that means that Team Orange and Black aren't able, as you say, to get anything afterwards. But they're going to rotate straight back, and they're going to go for the Baron again.
Yeah, Frost is on the wrong side of the map at the moment, but he can get over pretty quickly between his Yumus and his completed mobility boots. He is, however, just clearing out in the mid-wave. They've spotted this. They've stopped the Baron yet again. His little Santa hat will remain a little bit longer. The only two champions at the moment on the side of Baf Spartans who have a gold lead over their lane counterparts are the Tristana and the Rengar. Rengar seems to be getting deleted in almost every fight before he can kill people at this point.
Yeah, he's really lost sort of that early presence that you do have on. As you scale into the later game, this is a champion that does fall off incredibly hard. He still has his pick potential, don't get me wrong, but what he's normally able to do is make those picks, and no one's got enough damage to actually stop him from making more. At this stage of the game, especially with the likes of a 12-1 Syndra, I know it's not too impressive, a 3-2 Jhin, but he's got the items available, you know, they've got the damage available, they've got the lockup, and they can
it's
take
still
it
a
down
35-minute Jhin, you know, it's still going to be crazy.
Especially when he's backed up by an Infernal.
Yep, absolutely. The Dragons have gone, they've gone split actually, an Infernal for each team, an Ocean Drake for Orange and Black, as Baf Spartans picked up a Mountain Dragon. And that Mountain Dragon is going to mean that, especially with Tristana, they're able to push down this mid lane hard. They have out-rotated Orange and Black and will pick up this turret. But it means that the Baron's being started up.
Here goes the Baron, and I think
it's
they
a base
an
race.
inhibitor as
well.
Well,
It's a Baron race for an inhib.
Yep, we're going to see an inhib drop now on the side of Orange and Black, but we're going to see in the next 3 minutes how much that is worth. Obviously forcing away Bath now out of their base because they can't really... Oh, here comes Leona from the backside.
She is. Can the side of Bath rotate to the bot lane though?
They're looking to just totally Oh, are they? They're looking for a
Oh,
fight.
yet again, the shockwave is perfect, and so is the Scan of the Week. Frost is caught out. No Guardian's Angel available, and he's deleted by Syndra. Now they turn damage onto Ham Sandwiches, kicking him back. He's getting lower and lower. Double kill for Syndra. 14, 1 and 6 on Krax. What an incredible performance from him this game. Baron on all 5 members of Orange and Black.
Precisely why this man almost hit Challenger last season. Diamond in all other queues. He's an excellent player. As we see an engagement in the middle lane.
Buttermilk Bjorg is stuck, no flash available, but it is actually Infinite on Jarvan, who gets deleted. 1-for-1 in the end as Jarvan, Jace with the shot blast is able to pick up 1. They're going to try and return the mid inhibitor. This will be down for both teams. Super Minions will counter push each other.
That's what they're exactly looking for on this side, Team Orange. they were looking for that. If they could get an inhib to trade out their inhib thanks to the Baron, it makes it all worth it. And we're going to see so much more value coming inside. They offer a fantastic team fighting team, and they seem to actually understand what they need to be taking on the map at what time. As we're going to see a little bit of a fight come out now. Oh,
the hunt
wow.
is on. Redemption will, however, be the only damage that comes down. Doesn't land onto anybody as four members of Orange and Black take the turret, equalize the turret score, increase the gold lead to 5,000, and back away to safety. And Elder Dragon is on the map.
Absolutely, and they're going to be looking to play over to this one now. Some vision is going to need to be established before anyone goes for this, with a TP coming out from... is that Anivia? It's Anivia coming into the bottom side of jungle. And Bath are actually probably just going to look to try and start this.
They've got Infernal and Mountain. This could go down pretty quickly. It's getting burned through. 5,000 health gone already. It's down below half. And Jarvan is not here to try and steal. Red team pick up the Elder Dragon. That's Bath Spartans. They're going to be happy with that one in their pocket. It will time out round about the same time as the Baron will time out on the side of Orange and Black.
Now this is going to weigh out the team fights in a very different way to how they've been playing out so far. We've been seeing Team Orange and Black actually just smash their way through these team fights thanks to the likes of Leona and Jhin, and especially the damage being pumped out from Krax. I expect to see damage numbers at the end of the game in the very high, very high digits. But now that they've got an Elder Dragon, the burn off of all of these abilities means that there's going to be probably a little bit of a different reaction as we see a fight break out.
Yeah, the crescendo goes narrowly short. Krax, he could have been caught out, and it looks like Frost, who's trying to get in, but he's gone in without his team. He's gone down into his Guardian Angel, and now the damage comes down. Ham Sandwiches is gone. Krax is absolutely legendary. Frost is in all sorts of trouble, especially as his flash fails and he goes down. Jarvan will go down in return, and Obama My Pizza is so low as he flashes over, doesn't get quite burned down. Jhin, however, is deleted by Anivia. Buttermilk is going massive, and so is Tristana now. This fight has swung in favor of the Elder Dragon Bath Spartans. They've taken 4 kills. Only Jace lives as he runs with his tail between his legs.
This is precisely what I mean by the Elder Dragon picked up.
Look at
if
top
they
lane.
didn't have an Elder Dragon in that fight, you're looking at a win again for Orange and Black. But fortunately for this team, they're managing to get the damage out thanks to the Elder Burn. As you say, the top lane is really hard pushed, and they've not actually sent anyone back to deal with it. You've got Shen coming up in about 10 seconds, but how much damage is that tower actually taking? I mean,
they're acting like they're trying to end.
They can't end, I don't think. You've got Jarvan coming up in about 5 seconds. You've got Leona coming up in 10. I mean, they're really looking for this one.
They're going for it. They've still got Elder Dragon Burn. No, they haven't. Stand United will be challenged. This is 4 members. 1 Nexus turret is gone. The damage is huge from Tristana, but there are 2 members alive for the side of Orange and Black. Make that 1 no, because Infinite's in all sorts of trouble. No, he survives. The Solar Flare is onto Ham Sandwiches, and they are caught out. Now it is the turn of Bath Spartans to run, but they're not running. They're standing their ground. Oh, Relson survives just by a tiny amount. The stun lands, and Sona is dead. Hollow Hand goes down as Ham Sandwiches might go down too. He's going to flash. He's going to taunt himself away. Oh my word, these fights swing back and forth like a pendulum.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to see that they actually did try to end there. I didn't think that it was possible. In fact, it wasn't possible. They were a little bit away. You know, maybe a few hundred health on that turret.
600.
Yeah, just 600 health there. A little bit gutted on the side of Orange and Black that the from the Jhin. HD Steve was actually trying to rein in on the Tristana. If he does kill the Tristana, sure, big news, and potentially even game ending. But he let the Shen slip away. Shen was on about 300 health, no one to protect him, and 3 shots whizzed on by Shen's head.
Yep.
Not too happy with that one. As another fight breaks out.
Everyone's alive, but possibly not for long. Buttermilk Bjork takes a lot of damage. Ham Sandwiches is happy to take that damage, and the Redemption will heal him up as Buttermilk Bjork moves to the mid lane, trying to push away those super minions. We're now looking at one team with an exposed, with no inhibitor in mid lane. The mid lane inhibitor has respawned for Orange and Black, but they've got a Nexus turret that is almost as dead as everybody else has been for the rest of the game. 49 kills in 40 minutes.
It's exactly what you wanted to see from this one, isn't it? It's a bloodbath. These teams are hammering at each other. at each other's bases, and they're really looking for another fight. Here we go with
Stand United is on Rengar this time. I like this a lot. He goes in, does the damage, and Syndra is dead. But so is Tristana in response. 3 dead now for the Bath Spartans. This could be a game-winning fight if the side of Orange and Black can keep it going. Ham Sandwiches will be the next to fall as Infinite 8 gets the flash out of Buttermilk. The stun is good, will stop Jarvan in his tracks, but the base is collapsing. The inhibitor, which has just respawned, is going to get taken down. There are no minions there, however, so they're going to have to turn back into the top lane.
the wave at the bottom lane actually for Bath Spartans is really, really close to that inhibitor. They're looking to take both inhibitors. Now, I'm not sure about this one. You're letting the death timers get a little close there, guys.
If Buttermilk dies, this could be over, though.
Absolutely, and Stan whiffs the ultimate, but he's going to be able to exert enough pressure. That means that Buttermilk's going to have to back off to base, even with Stan potentially going down here.
Borderless Stan is indeed going to go down, but so is one Nexus turret. Both teams only with one Nexus turret left. I think the second last Nexus turret might fall. No, this one lives as well, but Jace doesn't. And Nivea with a kill. This is fantastic as Rengar dashes forward, picks up the kill onto Infinite. The teleport's going in to the base of Orange and Black as Bath Spartans looking to end. No, Jace! Joey Jin picks up the kill, and Nivea teleported in. Sona is no. Oh my God, what's happening? Syndra picks up the kill. Shen, you just need to put a little love tap on that final turret. Instead, he's going to dash to safety. Maybe try and take the inhibitor here in the mid lane.
Ariba, here comes the fiesta. We're going to see Syndra in the base managing to actually keep her tower alive and the hopes of the team with it. I'm so upset by the macro on the side of Orange and Black. The game was won. They had to push in the top wave, and it was being pinged by HDC, but there seemed to have been a breakdown of communication there with Stan and Infinite 8 taking away the middle inhibitor. Now that, at this stage, now that we are actually just sort of a little bit leveled out, is good. But the game could have been over. We could have been laughing about it, you know? We could have been finished talking to these guys, you know, breaking it down, talking about MVPs, but no, the game is still live, and it is very much in anyone's court.
Oh, Ollie, we have got one Nexus turret standing on the Rift, and it has 450 health. Yes, it's regenerating very slightly, but this game is open to anybody. Surely the next team fight wins this game, as we see Orange and Black positioned towards the Baron.
They need to be decisive about this. One thing that's annoyed me about this team is their lack of decision making, and they back away again. They didn't start it early enough. They had a good 10, maybe 15 seconds just sitting around their objective, and they didn't take it. They didn't take the opportunity, and they get forced off. Now the minions
in bot lane could end this game if they're not careful. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
And Nivea is answering the top, but you don't see anything from Orange and Black. The macro play, you know, Jace is going to back off now. Obama ate my pizza as they start the Baron again. No
Rengar's just been spotted by a ward in the bot side of the map, and I think that's going to mean Baron for the side of Orange and Black. Meanwhile, Jace is clearing out the minions, meaning their base is safe. Ham Sandwiches tries to come across, and the Baron's already gone over to Orange and Black as they now put the damage on to Ham Sandwiches. Hollowhand with a nice crescendo, trying to get his top lane to safety, but he's gone, and now the Cataclysm lands on to 2 people, locking down Buttermilk Bjork, but Relson's putting down decent damage. Now the teleport coming through. Jace is going to join the fight. There are still 5 members alive, and every single one of them has Baron for Orange and Black.
He cancels the teleport, actually, Jace. He doesn't go for the backline. What he's looking for is this Rengar. They're thinking if they can kill the Rengar, it saves their carries, and it does in fact save the Nexus. Yeah. What I'm more looking to is Krax. If Krax drops, I think that might signal the end. Right? How's Frost is going for the base?
What's he doing?
He's running back and forth.
he should be running away right now. This is not the play to make. Frost, get out of there.
There's 5 players there. You don't want to try and backdoor. It's not what you want at all. We've seen a couple of mistakes.
So Rengar getting spotted out.
Those ultimates. Yeah. I didn't mention one earlier, but in fact he was maybe a little bit too hasty with his APM. He actually clicked on a ward when he was ulting and managed to jump on over to that.
Got to get max damage onto that ward though.
Yeah, absolutely. Take it out as fast as you can, you know, priorities. But, you know, 6,000 gold. I think the gold advantage, in fact, is irrelevant right now. We're looking at basically full builds on everyone. In fact, full builds on everyone except for the Jarvan right now. He's going to pick up his final tank item.
Sona's got a couple of control wards there. Oh no, Shen is caught out again. Ham Sandwiches, he's already got 9 deaths, does not want to get into double figures. Not at this stage of the game. They cannot afford for him to die. He gets back into the base, gets his health back. Then now Frost has triggered the ultimate. You talked about them not being impactful before. They could be now. Stand United on top of the Rengar. He dashes in, he gets damage down onto some. Resurrecting now is Frost, but dead is Jace. 1 for 1 it is, because down goes Rengar to the damage. But look at the damage coming out of Tristana. This game just got won by Relson. He has outplayed everybody. Triple kill. He's going to get one more hit onto Cratch. Get the quadra kill. Get the game. This one is going on to the Bloodbath Spartans.
But look at the top lane, no one's been able to answer it. Are these minions going to be able to get through the Nexus? I don't think it matters, actually. Anivia is going to go back to answer it. But the death timers are just too great right now. We're going to see Relson, a phenomenal player this game. 14-2-5 on the Tristana. He doesn't need to hit that inhibitor. What are you doing, man? Finish the game. Here we go.
Game is finished. And the biggest loser of this whole game is a poor Poro, who I have been using as a stress ball. He has had a bad time of it in the last few minutes. Not quite as bad a time of it, though, as Orange and Black, who, despite being so close, exposing the Nexus of Bath Spartans, were not able to pick up the victory on this occasion. What a game we've had, Ollie.
It's a wonderful game, and it's exactly what we expected from it as well. The aggression coming out from both sides on this one has just been magnificent to cast for. Cracks with a 24-9 KDA over a 46-minute game on Syndra. You know, you got these threats like the Rengar that just wasn't able to deal with the Syndra. We saw Tristana try and do it herself. She managed to at the end of the game, but we saw her knock back, scatter the weak all the time. Phenomenal play, but it works either way, you know. 4-3-5, as we've been calling him for the first 10, Relson, he's just wonderful. He just keeps getting these resets in fights and managing to actually, even if his team was losing the fight, we saw actually about 30 minutes in a triple kill come through that came out of nowhere. This man has really, really been stubborn about this game. He didn't want to lose, and he manages to pull the win for the team. GG's to both.
Ollie, I could talk to you about this game, analysing it for the next hour, but unfortunately, due to the action-packed games and the pauses we've had today, we're running a bit behind schedule, and I need to pass on to our fantastic team of Coach Shelby and Cradden for our next games. Before we leave, however, and pause and go on to a very small break, can I ask you for your MVP of that game? I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Again, I'm torn. Again, I'm a little bit torn, but you've got to go with Relson. He just did it. He won the game for his team, even with at the end of the game, you know, hitting the inhibitor, whatever. Been phenomenal. I really wanted to say Cracks, but you know, Relson game winning. 402 farm, the most gold in the game, the best KD in the game. I know that those aren't the stats that you want to hear about, you know, KD. Yeah. It's kind of like just a dead stat. But in fact, you know, he did what his team needed him to do. No, actually, no. I'm going to go back on that one. I'm going to wrap this up very quickly. I want Syndra to have the MVP. Cracks has been phenomenal throughout this game. His damage numbers off the chart. I've just had a look at the damage shot. 58,000 damage from the Syndra. The runner-up being Anivia on 47k, 11k difference. He's just been enormous this entire game. Yeah, I've got to give it to Cracks on this one, even as a loser.
That's absolutely fair, and I'll back you up on that one. He made some incredible plays, even though he got the defeat screen at the end of the game, unfortunately for him. It's been a real pleasure casting with you, Ollie. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks go out to Wind and Rain. This Battle Axes tournament will be continuing just after this short break, and we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be here casting. I'm not sure if you will, Ollie.
I will be back tomorrow, but I will not be back tonight. So thank you very much for joining me to cast.
It's been great. Thanks to all of you in Twitch chat. Thanks to the Poro. He's been great too. I will catch you later. Stay tuned for Cradden and Coach Selby bringing us games 3 and 4. I've been Greyheart, and ciao for now.
Take care.
Oh,
we paired
hello.
off.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the coverage of Barlax's The Invitational Tournament, made specially by Wind and Rain. My name is Cradden, and I will be bringing you the second half of this evening's action, along with my new pal, Coach Shelby. Shelby, how's it going, my friend?
See you guys. Hello. Really great, man. Happy to be here to cast and see some new talents coming up for next future. So happy to see how. I mean, we've seen some good plays in the last two matches, and I'm happy to. I am hopefully there to see some good matches now, the two. So let's see and get this rolling.
Yeah, definitely. We've already seen some great matches today. In Group A, which we're about to see a game from, Lord of the Memes and LOL Squad have really taken a step towards securing those top two spots. And in Group B, we've just seen, you can call it a clown fiesta, you can call it a really long game. Shelby, how would you describe that one? It was 45 minutes long, I believe.
Well, that's what happens when team starts to not close out the game, and the other team have two champions that are just so big on power spikes and late game. So yeah, you mean Azer and Twitch late game? Yes, there are. So keep up and try to get as far as possible. But I think we are here to get into the lobby, and first pick and ban starts up. So let's see what both teams are going to pick him to ban. Firstly, we have on the left side, on blue side, we have LOL Squad, and on the right side we have Lord of the Memes, right?
Yeah, those are the two teams that will be contesting this second round of Group A matches. LOL Squad, of course, the losing finalists from the latest stretch of the Gold and Platinum Compete League Premier League. Considered a really strong unit. They've kept all 5 members of their Premier League roster, and they'll be going up against Lord of the Memes. I haven't personally seen them, but coming in at an approximate average elo of Diamond 5, they are probably the most talented roster here at this Battleaxes Invitational. So this is almost a semi-final preview, and if luck goes both of the teams' way, it could be a final preview given the strength of the rosters on display.
Okay, let's just jump right into the bans. Like Vayne to just target Souza, which has done some pretty good matches, and Vayne is just known as a good Vayne player generally. Zoe is not a... Well, I mean, Zoe is just broken right now, and it's on this patch, even though we're in 24B, so there's just nothing to worry about that. Karma is generally just not a ban we see often, but I think Giroy Jenkins is a good Karma player. It is a flex pick too, and it just offers so much utility if you can perform out just engaged compositions where you just keep advancing backwards, kiting people, and just are able to get things rolling. And then we have LeBlanc ban. LeBlanc is just general strong champion, which can abuse a lot about laning phase and just transition to the mid game. So we see there. I don't know about Caitlyn. Caitlyn is generally a weak pick right now, and you have Misfortune open, you have Azrael open, you have just so Jhin to Tristana, you have too many AD carry picks open, and there we go with the Misfortune. Even Syndra, we have seen Wheatfish doing a lot of stuff with Syndra against Azer, so I think that's just target ban of what we've seen from the first game of LOL Squad. But I mean, we'll see, right?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, it looks like the last ban and the first pick were a bit reactive, because Souza and Defi in the first game against Black Rose Esports, they won with the bot lane of Caitlyn and Misfortune. So this might actually be a first pick of Misfortune going over to the support role. And if Defi does like he did in the first game, he'll be building lethality. Do you think that's a cheese pick, or can it work in the current patch?
Misfortune support is just a wasted pick because you have Misfortune the carry, which is just way stronger. I like the adaptation on Trash Lucian. It's not a champions that we see often in this meta because you have just the other AD carries being just so strong. But I mean, they're proactive. They are just lane dominant, even though like Lucian isn't the best pick, and you have Misfortune, which can be really annoying by just poking you out with common and just and heavy rain and whatever. So just being lane oppressive. But if Thresh and Lucian get rolling, they can just snowball out of the hell. Ornn steady pick. I think there could be you could have picked Thresh now, something to counter Thresh like Morgana or something, because right now you're giving them the possibility to pick a mid laner or even a jungler and just ban out supports, and you're giving the bot lane of Low Squad, a bad matchup. But even though we remember support, Defi is playing Misfortune support, but Misfortune support against Trash Lucian, I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right there, Shelby. If the enemy team has picked a bot lane, you might as well pick the bot lane to avoid getting countered. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got the 2 junglers in place now. What sort of top laner do you think that Lord of the Memes can go for against the Ornn?
Well, there are a lot of picks which play in well, like Eloy, like GP, even Shen does well. But I mean, it depends on what style you want to play, because right now we have Sejuani and Xing Sao, which determine the style of the composition, which means Sejuani is way more of a teamfight composition, way more on a safe spot. You have 2 tanks, Ornn and Sejuani, so you're building towards a really safe composition. On the other side, you have Xing Sao and Trash and Lucian, which are champions that have to win the early game, the mid game. That's where they shine. And then we see Katarina ban, which is, I think, targeted on Wheatfish. I'm not sure about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Orianna is just a really strong pick right now. Is safe, is steady, can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, Katarina is just a ban on the Wheatfish. And then we see the Morgana pick ban, which we said to just counter the Trash, even though we have to think about Misfortune being flexed as support. I don't recommend that to do, but you never know. And then you have the Tahm Kench, which can be really, really denying on just denying every hook, everything that Trash tries. So there is the Tahm Kench open. Azeban, I mean, 27-24, there was just a mini nerf on Azer, which could have like get him down a little bit on priority, but it's still strong. But there are some picks that can counter it really well, like Seraph or even the Vel'Koz. And then we go with the Shen. Shen is just what we said before, just good answer to the Ornn, because to beat the Ornn, you need to have the better 4v4 squad, or just be stronger on the cross-map plays and abuse when Ornn is just not there to give pressure on lane. So Shen is a good option to that. There is better option like Eloy, but I mean, Shen is safe and steady. We haven't seen Shen being played out like he should have done in the last game, so I hope we see a better Shen than the last games.
Yeah, and Shen, you've said it yourself, Shelby. Shen can go toe-to-toe with Ornn, but one way he can shine is to do the cross-map plays. You can get the Call of the Forge God, but Ornn doesn't have that Stand United, just another way to teleport across the map.
Okay,
we're seeing quite a strong AD carry locked in with Ezreal. What sort of composition are we looking at here with LoL Squad? With it's almost 2 marksmen, but with magic penetration on Corki.
Well, we have some, you can call it 2 tanks with 3 AD carries, so just really strong on shredding people. But generally, it's Ezreal, Misfortune, the best 2 AD carries right now in the patch. And we have just a lot of poking stuff going on with Sejuani and Ornn that can engage, but can also disengage. So we have a lot of stuff going on, even though we have to be sad where a lot of the memes have to be proactive is on the bot lane. They have Lucian, and they have Trash, and they have Shen with the Xing Sao, a lot of damage. Yes, the Ezreal can jump away, can flash away, and you have the opportunity to just get away really easily, but Misfortune are mobile, and you're just playing 2 damage against really heavy engagement on bot lane, and a lot of the memes have to snowball out from bot lane. As we said, you pick Trash Lucian just for that reason. And then we have the Vel'Koz. The Vel'Koz was the pick I mentioned before to counter the Azer, so that is just a nasty pick where you don't play against it so often, but it is really, really good, and you just keep underestimating the true damage that it's bringing out from the word and just demolishing you with the ultimate. But again, as said, Lord of the Memes, nice composition, early mid game, really focused about getting that early advantage on bot lane, or maybe even on the mid lane. And on the other side, we have LoL Squad, which have really strong 4 or 5 man squad with a lot of AD carries, a lot of magic and AD damage. So that is a safe composition, except from the laning phase of the bot lane. So maybe a early lane swap is what LoL Squad needs to just swap out. Don't be in the lane of Thresh Lucian, and remembering that you have 280 carries, which means you're just going to demolish turrets with the lane swap.
Absolutely. A lane swap is not something we see too often at this level. Most often the top and bot lanes will go into the standard lanes. But you're right, for the reasons you've just mentioned, Shelby, it might work to have Ornn not get that much CS, but do well against Lucian and Thresh, who are looking to engage. Is it fair to say that this game is on a timer? If it reaches past a certain point, the LoL Squad have a massive advantage.
Yeah, that's what we are saying. Just having... I mean, you're having Lucian, which gets outscaled by either Misfortune, either Ezreal, so it doesn't care. And you have Cork, which is just 3-item spike time bomb, where you hit the 3-item spike and just demolish people. Yes, you have the Valkots. Yes, you have the Xingqiu, which can do a lot of stuff. Yes, you have always the possibility to pick off people off guard. And, I mean, you have Misfortune, which is mobile, but Corki can jump away. Ezreal too. Ornn is not going to die. Sejuani too. So you have a lot of just... If Misfortune stays safe, keeps on the back, and then just goes down with her ultimate, LoL Squad looks really, really comfortable on it, on winning it. But as said, this is all on Lord of the Memes to make the plays, to make the moves, and to just get the advantages by having picked Shen and Lucian Thresh. That's where they have to go. That's where they have to get the advantages. And, well, I mean, we'll see what happens and which team plays it out better.
Yeah, Vinex, it's going to be interesting because Shadow Moon, to quote what you've just said, Shelby, Shadow Moon on Xin Zhao is looking to get that bot lane going, to get Lucian and Thresh really active in the game. Vinex in the early game will be able to farm as a result. It's unlikely that Shadow will go for the counter jungle. So Vinex might be able to bring out some counter jungle of his own, but might well have to be in the place for a counter gank, because it will be a very difficult laning phase for the mid and bot lanes of LoL Squad in this encounter.
Well, I mean, as a Xingqiu, you're not that good on ganking, but I mean, you have Thresh, and it depends a lot of on Yujiro Jenkins to do the plays, to be proactive on the Misfortune. Maybe if you get a flay and a grab on the Ezreal, well, you can go there too. But it all depends, or it depends a lot on how will Thresh and Lucian play the bot lane and dictate the early game, right? We'll see Corki against Vel'Koz, which means that Vel'Koz will have the pressure advantage in the early game, for at least, where he just shoves in over and over. So Xingqiu should be able to invade if he wants to. So that is another opportunity or possibility he can do, right?
Yeah, definitely. Interestingly, we get to see the Keystone Masteries for a few seconds, and the jungle Keystones are exactly what you've just said. Xin looking to impress some power onto the game with Press the Attack. Those quick attacks with the spear are going to be influential. And on the other side, Vinex is going for the Aftershock, sort of setting up the frequent immobilization that he'll be bringing with those permafrost stacks.
Yeah, of course. And we see also Vel'Koz going for Electrocute instead of the help me out, instead of the poking of Aerie. So
that's the one.
Yeah, so we're seeing Vel'Koz, which is just really on burst power. So we'll see the different choose of the masteries or runes, which can determine also how the game can go. Because I mean, if that Vel'Koz gets out of combo, well, see you later. That's it. You're going to die.
Ooh, and the Snowdown map is shown, the presents are being opened, and we are onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen. LoL Squad and Lord of the Memes, they are both 1-0 in Group A of this Battle Axes Invitational, hosted by Wind and Rain. They're looking to take the top spot in their group, partway into this double round-robin 6-match group stage. And it looks like Lord of the Memes are going for the early invade. They're running up to Vinex, and they're getting some vision and presence in the opposing jungle, looking to get some vision on the opposing red buff, and Shadow Moon is just going to be right at the front there.
Yeah, I mean, like, you go in, you get wards, you know where Sejuani is starting, and you potentially go for a counter invade, or for an invade. So that is what you're doing. And that ward is not optimal, but I mean, you're knowing that Sejuani will not start there, and she will start blue buff, which means you can be at potentially invading. As we said, Vel'Koz will have the pressure advantage, and Xing Sao can do that. So Xing Sao starting on red buff maybe means he's going for red, blue, and then invading. And Sejuani has to be careful here because, you know, having to face off Xing Sao early game, you never know what's going to happen, even though Sejuani is clearing the jungle pretty healthy. So we'll see how that goes for the beginning. But, I mean, nothing special till there. We see usual... we see Thresh starting with Ancient Code. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's the two main things you can go. It's either going to be the coin or the Relic Shield. I always like to see when people go for the Relic Shield on Thresh and miss that CS. But it can go into the Talisman, which gets a bit of movement later on, but it's more of a solid source of income. It suggests that Thresh and Lucian might not want the early engages, but are just trying to farm up. But that might be a problem, because that goes against everything we were talking about in the pre-game, where Thresh and Lucian want to get ahead and want to make lots of engages early on this high damage but low mobility bot lane.
You can also see it like Thresh may being able or trying to be as playmaking as possible, because you're talking about Ancient Coin, where you're giving movement speed, where you're just upgrading it afterwards. So we could also see it like that, and we'll see, as we see, like Xing Sao doing. Well, he's doing red, wolves, blue, and ganking. Let's see if he can do something.
Yeah,
that
he's going
really
straight into the bot lane. Xin Shao will be going in here. Shadow Moon is level 3, will have the Audacious Charge. The early exhaust is popped. It's going to be an engage onto Sosa, who flashes both the Audacious Charge and the Death Sentence. Good early action from the jungler.
Yeah, so we get the first move there. Xing Sao could have opted either to invade or, as we saw, to gank. Really good gank, where we get just a flash from the Ezreal and an exhaust from the Misfortune, which is really, really good. And this means you can be proactive on that Thresh, because Ezreal has not flash, and you can even kill Ezreal at this moment. And yeah, I mean, that puts what we were saying from the beginning on. Good playing from Xing Sao, being proactive on the bot side of the map, where they have to get this opportunity or just the advantage of from the map, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think another thing that we're seeing because of the bot lane, Alperen on Ornn in the top lane has been able to push really hard. We might be seeing a 1v1 in the jungle, and both mid laners are coming in as well. Plasma Fission coming in, and Vel'Koz is full on comboing here. Vinex going low, but the resistance is coming up big. First blood to LoL Squad.
Yeah, that you see, like, in that moment, Corki just pushed it up from the turret and was able to just push back Vel'Koz in that moment, and that determined that first blood. Even though it's not terrible, but still, you give Sejuani the edge to scale up faster than the Xing Sao does, even though Xing Sao has 5 CS advantages. So it's really coming into what goes for the Sejuani, but miscommunication from Lord of Memes, because, I mean, Vel'Koz had no mana. He could not push eventually, and that is just bad invade from Xing Sao. Nothing more than to say than that.
Ooh, speaking of Xin Shao, he's gone up to the top, and unfortunately the last few seconds of Alperen's stealth ward in the Tri-Brush have seen him, so it means that Vinex's Sejuani will know where the enemy jungler is. Might try something bot lane, although is content to farm at the moment, just working towards that tier 2 jungle item. Where do you think Vinex will go for, Shelby? Will it be towards the bot lane, or will it be to try and help the pushing top lane or the very mobile mid lane?
Well, I mean, Vinex should right now just be able to track Shadow Moon, just put some wards in the enemy jungle, and try to farm up as much as possible. He doesn't need to do anything crazy, because there is no need to. I mean, you just need to let Ezreal back off. Well, we see him in bot lane staying there. I don't think they can do anything, because, I mean, they're under a turret. But just giving Ezreal the safety to push in, get the tier, get back, is really, really important. So, I mean, Ezreal has the money to get back. He has 1.5k. He should back as soon as possible to start stacking up.
Oh, and that's going to be the permafrost stacks as engages happen in the top and the bot lane simultaneously. Alperen is getting a 3 Talon strike and chooses to flash rather than subject himself to the combo. No kills in the bot lane either, as the game opens up quite a bit. All going off in the mid lane. The disintegration ray comes out of Starfish, and it knocked Weedfish down to half health, but does not force him out of lane.
Well, we saw a good flash from Ornn. Ornn played it really, really nicely, and I think Shen misused the taunt because, I mean, that should have been a kill for sure. He was just pushed up so far, and Xing Sao came in too, so, I mean, a little bit misplayed, I think, from Lord of Memes, but you make pressure, you give Shen the opportunity to be the pushing one in the top side, which is really important for him. And on the bot lane, I mean, that was wasted time from Sejuani. How can you be able to just go and dive? I mean, you will never be able to dive Thresh and Lucian under the turrets with all summoner spells up. That is quite unlikely, and he lost a lot of time there. He could have backed, went top, just farm up your jungle, just keep scaling. That's what LoL Squad needs to do. They need to scale. They need to get to that 30 minutes and just outscale them and just be able to get on the 2 free items of both Corki and Ezreal and just win the game off of that.
Yeah, it is the theme of this game. LoL Squad have the late game carries. They have champions like Corki and Misfortune. May not be that good in the mid game or maybe outscaled by CC and mobility, but can shine in the late game. And LoL Squad need to get to a point where they are given that opportunity. The lane's still in pretty standard laning phase at the moment. The CS is pretty equal and also fairly high. So it's showing the level of consistency from these teams and these players as they're laning. Bit of a skirmish in top lane as Alperen is using that Bellows Breath against the health of Shen very well, but shields on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite disappointed by both junglers because Sejuani has wasted so much time instead of focusing on farming up and getting on her items. And on the other side, we have seen Xing Sao making really good play on the early stage and then just neglecting the fact that both Ezreal, but well, that summoner spells have been used on the bot lane, and I mean, you gave Misfortune and Ezreal free time to farm up, and they're 10 CS up on Lucian Thresh. That's not what you want to have, because you're seeing, like, I mean, that is the lane which has to get the priority, that has to just snowball and win the game.
Yeah, ping's coming out as Shadow Moon tries to intervene. You're absolutely right, Shelby. When you have Ezreal, who can do a lot of impact in the late game, start building a tier, building a stopwatch. These aren't the items that say I want immediate impact. These are the items that say I'm doing well now, but I want to have a big impact late game. And in order to breach that point, in order to get ahead, Lord of the Memes have to act now or in the mid game. The Infernal Drake is up, but Shadow Moon won't be looking at that yet. He'll be looking for the kills on the lanes. LoL Squad are coming together, though. They're going towards this Infernal Drake, the first Drake of the game, and they're getting vision for now, but it's only a matter of time before a skirmish breaks out.
Well, LoL Squad is playing this really good because they're just...
Oh, and they're going getting Shelby. I have to interrupt you. The Audacious charges in, and that is a flash from Defi, but the hook goes out anyway. Alperen interrupting the Stand United, or what would have been, but that is going to be a nice kill from Lord of the Memes. Shen chasing, trying to make it 2. Flash goes in, and Call of the Forge God is launched in retribution. Alperen turns it around. Lord of the Memes in the bot side, meanwhile picking up the Infernal Drake as a fight breaks out. Vinex is isolated. Weedfish jumps in, but may regret that Flash is out as well, and Zyko has led Alperen on a merry chase. The fight does not continue in bot lane. A 2-for-0 trade. Zyko still trying to add another point to the score for Lord of the Memes. Alperen, don't think he'll be able to get an execute here, but uses the Bellows Breath to dodge the taunt. Searing Charge makes him as elusive as ever, and he goes back to lane again. He's looking to waste time. Starfish coming up, and this has to be the least climactic top lane fight ever. Starfish looking to add insult to injury and finish the fight here. Alperen surely can't escape this one as the Plasma Fission comes in. The Tectonic Disruption putting an end to that fight, and it gets the mid laner a nice kill. 3-for-0 all told.
Well, yeah, a lot of stuff happening there. I mean, it all started with Misfortune being out of position where just, I mean, they rotated to the river, both Vel'Koz and Sejuani, but then they stopped, went back, and Misfortune just continued to go in, poked Xing Sao and just got finished because of that. And that is just really nice kill on a lot of memes, while abusing the mistakes of the LoL Squad. On the other side, then we see Shen getting in, and this is one of the mistakes top laners do sometimes, where they just charge in to try to stop Shen under his turret and get punished by that, because that's what happened. And it was just really good punished by Shen. And then, well, we see Sejuani trying to steal Inferno Drake, which is obviously right, and well, she doesn't get it and gets killed on the execution. So in the end, bad play from Misfortune, bad play from Ornn, not respecting the Shen and maybe having to flash out instead of just rushing in and not avoiding the taunt. And well, we see Lord of the Memes getting advantages, even though we have really nice farms from Lord of
this
Blood.
could be some big play in the mid lane. Alperen goes for Call of the Forge God, and equally the Glacial Prisoners popped, but Starfish dodges both with one flash, and that puts an end to that play very quickly, Shelby.
Nice flash from Vel'Koz there, just from Starfish, just juking out 2 ultimates. Pretty poor execution from LoL Squad, because that should have been a kill for sure. I mean, you bring Ornn mid, you bring Sejuani mid, you waste 2 ultimates, that has to be a kill. But I mean, in the meantime, we see Xing Sao not being able to go bot lane, because that's what we were talking before the all plays happened. LoL Squad had so good vision, they knew where everybody was, and they still made those mistakes. We see maybe Xing Sao trying from the backwards, but you see, nothing done there, and we have again good scoreline for CS for LoL Squad, which is just looking to farm up and get this CS going and just getting to the 2-3 item spikes which they need. And we see Corki almost on that Trinity power spike.
Yeah, despite losing that earlier fight, LoL Squad still have a lot of priority. They have really good vision, as you've just mentioned, Shelby. And if they don't commit to mistakes as they did earlier, there's an argument to say they could do really well in fights right now. They've just got to really beware of Shadow Moon and his ganking paths. He wouldn't have been able to give Souza and Defi that much time to react had he ganked. And yeah, LoL Squad do just need to get further on into the game, and they're starting to build the items. The danger now is that Vinex is falling a bit behind Shadow Moon, and it goes with what you said earlier, Shelby. It could have been Vinex's time to farm earlier. It's because of that Infernal Drake play that he's lost out on so much experience. And it's important that he's a tank jungler. He doesn't need to be the carry, but it's important that he still has the health and resistances of a tank.
Yeah, I mean, he went for a lot of vision for his team, and that has rewarded bot lane and mid lane for being ahead 20-25 CS at least in both lanes, which means winning a losing lane or winning against a kill lane is just really, really good. But we see an engage or invade here on the Sejuani.
Yeah, big invade. There's going to be 3 members in the jungle. Starfish choosing to pop the ult in the mid lane. Weedfish might be pincered, but he has brought along a friend from the Forge with him. Alperen's Ornn has come down to the mid lane. Unfortunately, he's on top of a ward, and all of Lord of the Memes will collapse on him. Corki, you ain't flying nowhere, mate. Alperen is in the top side and will be unlikely to retreat. We'll try and use the Blast Cone to hop into Baron, but instead we'll run around the top side. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I like to call the Dunk Squad. Lord of the Memes will just be running up to the top lane. We'll be trying to corner Alperen, and this might give LoL Squad an important amount of time to push down the mid lane turret. Alperen might be using the Distractix really well here, as Defi and Souza will take some important health off of mid lane. With that said, Alperen falls, and that's a 2-for-0 trade.
Yeah, we see another time like LoL Squad being proactive, not being proactive, but making the right decisions, and then we see just singular mistakes or individual mistakes from players. I mean, well, Weedfish, he saw Sejuani being there chased by 3 people, and he just went away from Starfish having used everything. Why don't you back off from the how's it called, from Pixel Brush on the left side from mid lane, instead of just trying to poke Vel'Koz, knowing that 3 people were coming, even though the the Ornn was behind you to aid you. I mean, that's just an individual mistake there, and which just gives Lord of the Memes the little advantages they can build on.
Absolutely. I saw someone asking in Twitch chat earlier what Keystone Mastery Souza's Ezreal was running. I just saw that friendly little Kleptomancy proc, which sort of contributes to the massive gold lead. Oh, that's another invade coming out from Lord of the Memes. it'll be less fruitful this time. But there's another Infernal Drake available. The RNG is good for the red side, and they'll be looking to build on their Infernal Drake power. Here comes a teleport behind them. Lol Squad may be looking to fight. They lose the Drake, but Alperin is here. Call of the Forge God will surely have to be used. Steering charge in the backline, but Alperin will get brought down quickly. His team was not there. The fight lines were separated, and Weedfish is the next one to go in. He's going to try and fight his opposing number, Starfish, but the stand united will be real. Vinex is the next one to be separated, and Soza and Defi are just on the wrong side of the fight. There's a lot of togetherness from Lord of the Memes. They take down Vinex, they take down a lot of health from Soza, and they will bring him into the grey screen. And Leroy Jenkins on Thresh walking out with solo health. It's a 3-for-0 trade. The kill score is so big. 2 Infernal Breaks as well.
Well, we haven't seen Lol Squad being coordinating right now, but we see some action mid and another kill from Lord of Memes. And I mean, as you see, like Lol Squad is just not on the same page. They're just rushing in one by one, not being. I mean, they're not coordinated. They're just. I mean, they're playing a composition which needs them to be as 4 or 5 people as a squad. Whereas Lol of Memes can also be split up because they have a lot of possible opportunities to just get in, get out, have long range ultis and so they can do whatever they want and split up. But Lol Squad is just, I mean, they're making mistakes over mistakes by splitting up, not being on the same page, and this costs a second Inferno Drake over some kills. This is getting really dangerous for them, because this means, I mean, with getting 3 Inferno Drakes, you can almost neglect the fact that a team is scaling better than you. So, you know, like, next Drake is Mountain Drake, so you're fortunately not facing a 3rd Inferno, but Mountain Drake is not bad either, because you then can do Baron and Drakes faster. So you, I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on here, and Lol Squad is in danger. Because this I mean, we haven't seen them being cohesive together as a team, which should be expected. As you say, they're playing together since a long time, but it doesn't seem like this. And yeah, we'll see how this goes on now. I mean, we have the 30 CS and the 25 CS in the mid lane. We have the 30 CS on the bot lane. We have good CS advantages on that 2 lanes, but the overplays when the macro comes in from Lord of the Memes, which is just invading randomly on the enemy team, where Lol Squad has a lot of vision on the bot side, so they know where people are. They just continue to just make. I mean, we could call them. I mean, we can call them. Oh my god!
We'll find it.
Communication mistakes. So that is, like, I think the main problem for Lol Squad right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that they've got the skills to be ahead in the lanes. The word you used was cohesive, and it's the perfect word here. There's things to improve on, and we'll see if they take a bit of advice from that as we approach the mid game. Lord of the Memes will be looking for action. They'll be looking to take a tower in the bot lane, and at 4 versus 2, they can out-pressure their opponents. They will lose mid turret as a result, but they will take their second unanswered turret, temporarily putting the gold lead up to 5,000. While there's a fight not happening, I can confirm that in group, never mind, Alperin is looking to interrupt my statement. He's going in with the Call of the Forge God, going in on Shen, diving the tower, using the Bellows Breath, but has to get out because Shen is too goddamn tanky. Yet, to go quickly over to the results from Group B, we've just had the Bath Uni Spartans, and they have off-stream, they have beaten Einsatzbreit to take a record of 2-0 in the 6-game double round-robin group stage, so definitely one to watch. And I believe there will be a streamed game from the Bath Uni Spartans, maybe later or maybe tomorrow. Well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, what we just saw was the trading for turrets, which, I mean, is good for, or is what Lord of the Memes want, but still you're trading bot lane turret for mid lane. I mean, I like the fact that they're trying to be proactive, that they're trying to do stuff, they're trying just to be the guys making the plays. but good reaction from lower squad this time, just trading turrets and not getting caught out bot lane. So they're keeping it safe, they're keeping it on farming, and we see 50 CS on the AD carry and 35 on the mid laner. So these CS advantages are increasing because of the nice lane.
I might have to interrupt you here as Vinex is looking to use the permafrost stacks. Alperen couldn't take down the Shen on his own, but he has some assistance. Lord of the Memes collapsing on the opposite side of the map, given the Australia lanes that are taking place.
This is really bad from Vinex. I mean, you need to put support to your bot lane, which is on the moment on the top lane, and you don't care if Shen dies or not. You can just respawn and then ult in or just TP in. So what you need to do is support your top lane, or your bot lane, which is on top lane, and try to not let it die, and keep up the vision on the top side of the map. On the other part, a lot of Memes should be the ones invading on top side and not being the ones that going bot side, because what you need is get vision down on the top lane and then just out rotate them by pushing mid and just rotating straight top, getting a free turret for that, with lower squad not being able to just contest it. But I mean, they're going for Drake, which is fine either way, and we're seeing him maybe Sejuani is getting
yeah, it's an attempted steal and it doesn't quite come off. The Mountain Drake goes over to Lord of the Memes. It's the third Drake. They're really stacking up the objectives on the LoL squad here, and they're just going to go back to the lanes. They're not really losing too much in territory, and even though they aren't closing the game out, they are getting the objectives and they are keeping up a gold lead, which is really important for their prospects into the mid game. Shadow Moon not quite putting in the killer blow yet. I believe he's going to regroup with his team as he puts pressure on the opposing blue buff.
Yeah, we see. I mean, Lord of Memes are doing the right things by getting objectives, trying to be proactive, trying to get turrets, and trying to be the guys that dictate the pace of the game. But right now, they're just being hesitant on what to do and where to go, and I want to see them just fully committing on pushing mid and just going on top side and just going as a 4-man squad on the top side and getting the turret on top side, because that's what opens the map and just gives them complete pressure of both Drake and Baron. Then the game goes on where you can leave the Thresh and the Lucian in one lane and support the other guys on the other lanes. So I want to see Lord of Memes just, I mean, we're 23 minutes. We were saying 30 minutes more or less, 35 because of the Drakes. Lord squad is going to ramp up. So they have to do something right now, and they have to put the killing blow right now. They're 5k ahead, nice and fine, but they need to do more now. Baron is
they
there.
may be doing just that. They're getting the vision on the opposing blue buff and look like a potential dive onto Sosa and Defi. Thresh is stepping up into an offensive position, but doesn't quite land the killer blow just yet.
You see, this is the play they need to do, but look at the midwave. Midwave is not pushed into the turret, and which means they can rotate freely without being pressured, okay? So what you need to do is just keep Vel'Koz there. Vel'Koz should be able to push Corki in, as far as I know, because you're on Corki is not in the free items power spike where he just destroys the Vel'Koz, so he should be fine right now. And you need to push that in. You need to push that in and rotate top as a unit. And you see LoL squad doing a really good job on keeping the vision out. 2 pink wards, 3 wards, 4 wards there, and just being able to predict what the enemy team is doing. And this is just really good from them, because they're keeping this game up and they know what to do. Even though Vinex is just wasting time by going over and over bot lane where he should be on top lane and just preventing maybe Vel'Koz to push in and give. I mean, you can also try to get onto the Vel'Koz and try a play there, but don't go bot, don't go on the Shen. You will not kill him. You're 2 tanks against the tank. What will you do? Nothing. So that is wasted time for Vinex. A little bit disappointed, but I mean, it's fine till now, and we'll see what they're doing right now next. Resets from Corki. He had the package before. Nothing used. I mean, I haven't seen the package used. Have you?
I think it was used once in the fight where LoL squad they lost Defi, and then Weedfish tried to go in on Starfish. but got
okay,
beaten by
yeah.
a Stand United. But yeah, there's only been one usage, and I think there could have been 4 by now.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the strong things of I mean, this is the right rotation, which a lot of memes are doing. I mean, Corki's backing right now, which he shouldn't, and since I should have been there way faster, and you just force Misfortune as well out and get the turret, because that turret is preventing you from spike on and get your, I mean, going on with your game plan, right?
Oh, this could be big. Vinex is looking in. He's walking over the wood, looking to engage. Shadowmoon going into the back line, looking for the marksman. Equally on the other side, Vinex goes in, takes down the AD carry. Marksmen are down. Call of the Forge God goes in as this fight becomes chaotic. It's going to be a big Misfortune ult, and Shadowmoon is going to collapse onto the next target as Starfish provides the artillery burst from the backline. Alperin and Vinex are the only 2 LoL squad members left as Zyko opens up, gets strong dueling damage as it is 3 for 3. Zyko will not stop there. Tectonic Disruption is there, and Vinex is going to be on such low health, but the resistances are going to be deceptive. It's going to end up as a 3 for 3, with Starfish being the only healthy player of the bunch.
Well, what we saw there was just good engage, good primary engage from LoL Squad, but we see the immediately reaction from the Shen, which just gets in and prevents a lot of damage. On the other side, we see just Ezreal jumping in, trying to kill Lucian, if I'm not wrong, which is bad. I mean, you should just be the guy putting out as much damage as possible, being the main carry of this team, main damage threat, and you just go in and oh no, he was just sorry. Iron Xingqiu was on the Ezreal and just killed him by himself, which should never happen. I mean, you have Ornn, you have Sejuani, you're in there. You need to defend your carries. You need to just be in front of them and try to get that Xingqiu, which is the only damaging threat. If the Thresh is not getting any hook, you need to defend that carries of yours and be able to provide them support, right? We saw then Starfish coming in a little bit late, but it is fine. He gets in, puts the damage out. Ezreal is dead. Misfortune is not an AD carry Misfortune, which is sadly, which I already said, because you're losing so much damage there. And then you have nothing left there because you have 2 tanks being there and just being meat shields. And we see, I mean, Lord of Memes haven't gotten that turret on top side. Yes, they get an Ocean Break, fine, I know, but they're still on 5K.
This could be at the cost of a couple kills. It's going to be Archwizard Defi picking up that one, but that was set up by the Call of the Forge God. Almighty Cat Solution is going to get out of there, despite losing the objective and another turret. LoL Squad managed to get something.
Yeah, LoL Squad is doing the right decisions here, even though I don't know what Sejuani is doing. She was again bot side. I mean, by getting Thresh there, you can eventually force also a Baron, but
Danger zone for Corki. Shadowmoon is going to go in. Audacious Charge is there. Taunt is there. And suddenly there is no hope for Weedfish, who is separated from the rest of his LoL Squad team.
that was a good rotation from Lord of Meme. What I was saying before, Sejuani is keeping on staying bot lane where she shouldn't. You shouldn't stay around your Ornn, around your Shen. Yes, the Cork was there flash from Vel'Koz.
Yeah, that is big.
I mean, that is big. That is a big spell. Yes, Sejuani had ultimate ready, but I mean, that's a little bit mad. Well, it's respecting the Sejuani, so I guess that's fine. But I mean, I need Vinex to do more. I need Vinex to be proactive on where Ezreal is, where the Corki is. Yes, the Corki was bot lane, but he's laning against the Shen. And then you have Ornn doing the play on top side instead of where Sejuani should be. So, I mean, Ornn is doing a good job right now being the guy letting something happen, whereas Vinex is just not being on point, not in the pathing, not in the spots he has to be. But as we see, the advantage is not growing because the top turret is still standing. So Lord of the Memes are just losing time, and we see, I mean, we see the 3 item spikes on the Ezreal, with almost 3 item spikes on the Corki. Ornn is already tanky, Sejuani is tanky. Yes, Misfortune has two items, but I mean, Misfortune will not be the main carry of this game. So we see already having 2-3 items power spikes from the 2 carries of LoL Squad, and this is what we were saying. Like 30 minutes is one of the marks where Lord of Memes have to take over, have to just win the game, otherwise they're just getting outscaled slowly. And I mean, that's the fate of picking an early game composition. Sejuani
Engage nearly coming off there for Lord of the Memes, but it's a nice dash over the wall by Vinex. Unfortunately for the LoL Squad, it's going to be a turret taking the top lane, and that does open up the map. As you said, it's the 4th turret, and despite the game being on a timer, it's the Lord of the Memes team who can look towards the Baron. They are going for it. They are pulling the trigger. 11,000 health, but it is going to be burned through. LoL Squad are in the area. It's unlikely, apart from an Ezreal ult, they can get anything on this, and they take the big purple worm.
That's a really nice play. I mean, you chunk Sejuani backs, and that is a bad back timer, and you give Lord of the Memes a Baron, and this is what they needed. And now they need to get turrets. They need to get top lane turret, mid and bot lane turret, and then start pressuring the inner turrets, the inhibitor turrets, and this is what they need. And really nice play, really nice call from Shadow Moon, I expect, which was just go there, take the Baron, Sejuani's back. That was really nice call, and this is where LoL Squad make mistakes. We saw them making mistakes on individual parts, which again was Vinex's part. A mistake here. We see TP from Shen, which is not a problem, I guess. But we saw again Vinex not being on the right place, backing off at the time like this. I mean, you have your warm-ups. Even if you have half-life, you lose half-life. You just get it back with warm-ups, so you don't need to back off. And again, we see him being bot lane instead of just being a top lane where the Misfortune is, where Ezreal is, even though Lord of the Memes are putting a lot of pressure on bot lane, which is not understandable, but I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
they're making pressure with Xing Sao on top, so yeah.
Yeah, they are looking to siege here. They have opened up the map. Vinex looking for a counter-engage, but that is a nice flash away from Shadow Moon, who drops a bit of BM, bit of spicy memes from Lord of the Memes coming out. Zyko is dropping the ZZ Rot, meanwhile in the bot lane, looking to break open that turret. The Baron siege is going to come in big, and we already know LoL Squad are struggling in fights at the moment. They might be able to defend siege as well, but can they defend Baron sieges, particularly if the threat of a pick is really strong?
Really nice rotation from Lord of the Memes. I mean, you push in mid, you go on the other side of, you go on bot lane or in top lane to get the turret, which is there for free money. And I mean, we see the money differential just rocketing on, what is it, 9,000? So that is really nice from Lord of the Memes, and they have to keep pressuring. They have to keep pressuring on the top plate turret, and then just being there, get the next Drake. It's a really nice, juicy mountain Drake, which enables even more turrets and the Barons, and then use the next Baron to just crack up, open the base, or force an engage on narrow street with the Valkos ultimate going in, or even a catch with the Trash and decimate the guy that is, the poor guy that will go on that path.
Absolutely, the 3-1-1 is set up really well. LoL Squad could maybe force a 5v4 in the bot lane with a nice rotation, but they would lose things top, and it would be a giant risk after all. Zyko Shen is coming over. He wants to do something to Weedfish, but he will settle for a nice bit of push on the top turret. The rest of Lord of the Memes will back out and will go for their 5th Drake of the game at the 35-minute mark. An Elder Dragon that could come out of this will be a scary thing indeed. 2 Infernals, 2 Mountains, 1 Ocean. It's the objective pentakill, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that is scary. That was the thing we were saying. And Lord of the Memes have all to win or to lose their game. Right now, I mean, LoL Squad just need to keep up, try to contest the next Baron or Elder Drake, because that's what they need to do. But then they need to face check it, and it's really it's a tough situation for LoL Squad. I mean, they are still there, they still getting the items, so they are not down, but it's really difficult to get up because of all the objectives a lot of the Memes have gotten in the couple of, well, for 35 minutes, they've done a lot of advantages. Now they do have just to wait for Baron and make the pressure. Getting out all the division and then baiting the Baron or just try to get...
This could be big though. Xin has popped up the Crescent Guard and there's the Stand United. He's not going to die but is threshed. The Misfortune Orc goes in and Shadow Moon goes straight into the back line. Trying to kite back and they are getting some kills out of this one. Ornn showing up big but they have lost their tank line. Defi and Souza are susceptible and Vel'Koz could show up with a Plasma Fission or two to change that. In the top lane, the tanks are remaining. Now it's the damage dealers. This could get good.
Well, we see a really nice Vel'Koz ultimate, which is just doing true damage to the tanks and shredding them. That was what let them win this fight. On the other side, Shen just being...
Here comes the package. Weedfish is going in, looking to take down Starfish, but Zyko is available and has the taunt ready to go back in. Lol Squad, however, will defend their base. They lose an inhibitor turret, which could be incredibly important for the next siege.
This is one of the things that shouldn't have happened, and that happened. And this is what Lord of the Memes needed. I mean, cracking base with Corki as well Misfortune on the side is quite difficult, even though it's not impossible, because it's way more difficult if you have an Acer on the side or something like that. But this opens the map. This opens the point where Shen can go bot lane, ignore completely Ornn, and just go on the inhibitor and keep chunking the inhibitor. And if you are low in health, you just TP back. So there are a lot of stuff to do there, but they have to send the Shen bot lane instead of leaving him top lane.
And we saw...
See the Baron 1 minute.
Yeah, the Baron in 1 minute is going to be a focal point. Lol Squad, they were able to show up big in that last fight. They don't have a support, so they can't peel for their backline, so they did get separated a bit. Do you think Alperin should go in and try and take out Lucian? Or do you think Alperin should be peeling for the backline should they get dived up?
That's what we were saying at the beginning. When you're drafting with 2 or 3 AD carries, you need to just defend your AD carries, peel for them, and try to just endure with your tank, which are big tanks, the front line from the damage dealer from the other team. You have 3 AD carries, you will do more damage than they do. Even though we have the Vel'Koz pick, which is really, really nice, where you can just poke from far distance the tanks and shred them like we saw in the last team fight. So there are a lot of things going on. Here we see Shen hammering on that top lane. But, I mean, as I told you, Misfortune's support right now is just a counter pick to some really, really different... I mean, it's a situational pick, but it's not a pick you pick.
Oh, Shadow Moon has chosen this moment to go in, flashes in, has the Shen Stand United, and that is a defensive glacial prison, but it is going to be backed up by Vel'Koz using his ultimate. The Lol Squad health bars are being shredded as Lord of the Memes are Lord of their teams and have completely taken down the opposing composition. The only remaining member is Alperin's Ornn. He is brought down with focus fire, with press the attack, with concerted damage. And that will surely be GG. Lord of the Memes just stepped it up. Shadow Moon hit the go button, told his team to hit everything, hit the flash, hit the audacious charge. And at 20-8, with the gold lead and with the solid objective plays, they have ignored the timer and said to Lol Squad, even at 40 minutes, we can take your Nexus. They go 2-0.
Yeah, really nice engage there. I mean, that was what I was talking about Misfortune pick. The Misfortune pick, it isn't good when you have a pick composition on the other side, because, I mean, we saw it. What can you do against Xingqiao just going straight in your face? Nothing. And that was the ruin for them. And really nice play from Lord of the Memes, which, I mean, they're not neglecting the timer because they were so good on taking the right drakes. Obviously, the drakes were all good, so we can't say they had clown drakes, but still, I mean, really nice stuff from Lord of the Memes, which show that even though making some, I mean, some rotational mistakes in the beginning, they're able to take on all mistakes or just abuse of the mistakes of Lol Squad, which were not on the same page this game.
Yeah, definitely. Lol Squad, we saw that there were some mistakes going through the game. We knew what they were trying to do with their composition, and as a result, we knew that they had to back off, and in a few fights, you pointed it out, Shelby, the cohesion and positioning in the fights was what let them down. They could have played differently as a result of their composition with 3 marksmen and without a conventional support. Given the composition that they played with, you could argue that they could have gone through the mid game without so many positioning mistakes. I liked their vision. Shelby, if you were to be the performance coach of LOL Squad instead of Wind and Rain, what would be the one thing that you would say to them?
Well, I don't know what the communication was, but there was a problem there. And what I would have told them was, for sure, communication. You need to be in the same page. And even if it's a wrong call, it is okay to make mistakes as a team, but it is a mistake to do stuff on your own when you're playing a game like League of Legends, where you need to be as 5 people, and when even one person is not on the same page, you lose. Even if you're saying on Diamond Eagle, even in Master Eagle, even Challenger Eagle, even Bronze, one mistake from one player can lead to a defeat, which we saw 4 times. Mistakes from individual players, the Oren going and the Misfortune being out of position, the Sejuani backing off when she had the possibility to have the war mix, and these little mistakes led to big advantages of Lord of the Memes, which just then controlled really good the game, and I mean, they brought it back home. So communication, boys, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to focus on. I mean, I haven't heard you, but that's what we saw from the game.
Communication, the name of the game, and Shelby says so. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back shortly, very shortly in fact, with a game between Aquamarine Gaming and Bath Uni Spartans in Group B. We're still waiting on the lobby to form, so myself and Shelby will be back in a few short minutes. Until then.
See ya later.